Sergeant, we good to go? Just let me know.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to the hearing on the Committee on Environmental Protection. At this time, please silence all electronics and do not approach the dais. I repeat, please do not approach the dais. If you need any additional assistance, please contact the sergeant. If you wish to testify online, you may do so at testimony@council.nyc.gov. That is testimony@council.nyc.gov. Chair, you may begin.
Thank you. This is the big type one? Okay. Good afternoon. I am Councilmember Jim Gennaro, Chair of the Committee on Environmental Protection, Resiliency, and Waterfronts. Today we'll hold an oversight hearing on DEP's efforts to maintain the quality of New York City's drinking water, particularly with regard to the filtration avoidance determination, commonly referred to as the FAD, that DEP was granted by the EPA in 1997. This committee and this council were deeply engaged in years of delegate negotiations between the EPA, New York State, New York City, the Coalition of Upstate Towns, and what was known as the Environmental Coalition, which is a group of environmental organizations that came together in common cause with city government, state government, the federal government, and the upstate towns to keep the New York City drinking water supply watershed unfiltered and pristine in perpetuity. The 1997 FAD was the result of a very historic Memorandum of Agreement, or MOA, of all the aforementioned parties. I know this well because I was there for those years leading up to the MOA as the policy analyst at that time for this committee. This committee went upstate to engage the Coalition of Watershed Towns to work to get to yes on this historic agreement. And more than 30 years after this process began, and now 27 years since the FAD MOA, the FAD has been reauthorized several times because of DEP's dedicated stewardship and investment in the watershed, and in this committee's relentless oversight, which continues with this oversight hearing today. Special recognition, I don't know if he's here, special recognition goes to Eric Goldstein of the Natural Resources Defense Council. He and I are the last ones, I believe, that are still active on this issue from among all those involved in forging the 1997 FAD. But it is DEP that has worked to comply with the FAD every day for the last 27 years, and we look forward to DEP's good testimony today. Additionally, this committee will be hearing introductions 33, 225, 816, 900, and 1067. Pretty full docket. The committee welcomes testimony from the Department of Environmental Protection, advocates, and interested members of the public. Also, we have the Independent Budget Office who will be testifying as well. New York City's potable water infrastructure is truly a marvel of urban planning and engineering. Every day, about 1 billion gallons of water, sourced across 3 watersheds spanning thousands of square miles, is collected, treated, and routed via 7,000 miles of delivery infrastructure to New York City residents, as well as to some very lucky residents of Westchester, Putnam, Orange, and Ulster counties. DEP services about 1 million customers north of New York City. Our tap water is widely regarded as among the finest and tastiest in the world, and is believed to be the secret behind the city's amazing pizza and bagels. The staff put that in. I didn't want to get hungry in the middle of my statement, but they put it in anyway. Because the water supply is derived from so-called surface waters, meaning from reservoirs fed from rivers, streams, and precipitation, federal law requires DEP to either filter the water prior to delivery to the end user or meet objective and stringent water quality standards such that filtration is unnecessary. I think it's appropriate for me here to mention that it's very rare for a watershed for a surface water watershed not to have to abide by the surface water treatment rule of the Safe Water Drinking Act, which requires that all watersheds that use surface water be filtered. And when that rule was first put into effect, there was no such a thing as a filtration avoidance determination. There was no provision in the rule to get one. If you use surface water, you had to filter. And it was the EPA administrator under Bush 41, who was on his way out of office, I think his name was Riley, who thought it'd be a good idea for those watersheds that were completely pristine not to be burdened, not to have the regulatory burden of having to put up a filtration plant when they didn't need one. And so many watersheds, try to apply for a FAD and are turned down, and there are precious few that actually have that. We'll hear that in the testimony of the EP. New York City was a real challenge in that we have, the number that was thrown around 30 years ago is 50,000 people living in the watershed. I don't know what the number is now. We have scores of sewage treatment plant that discharge, and the EPA had some trepidation about even considering to give us a FAD. And this is kind of like old guy lore here. When when you know stuff, you want to share it with younger generations. So the EPA did a smart thing. They impaneled a blue ribbon panel of 10 watershed experts from around the country, and they deliberated for a while, did all kinds of analysis, and they came back with the unanimous report the unanimous conclusion that New York City, that the EPA should not even entertain the notion of giving New York City a FAD. And so EPA, with that in hand, went to New York City and said, we're going to make some history here. You got a lot of people living in this watershed. We got this panel of experts. Every single one says we shouldn't even be entertaining this, but we're going to jump you through all kinds of hoops, make you do all kinds of investments, do land acquisition, a farm program, new watershed rules that hadn't been updated since 1953. And we're going to try to make some history here, while at the same time putting DEP on a track of building a water filtration plant, just in case this process didn't work out for maintaining the FAD. And the EPA was so interested in this that ordinarily the EPA devolves primacy over the day-to-day operation of the FAD to the state health department, but in this case the EPA itself held on to primacy itself for 10 years, which it rarely does. And so it's good for people to know that we made a lot of history, and a lot of good people came together to make this happen. It's just very, very difficult to get and even harder to maintain, and I think a lot of credit goes to DEP, as I said, for doing this day-to-day upholding of the FAD. Now the FAD police are like the New York State Department of Health. And so as they say, now you know. Where was I before I got wrapped up in my own rhetoric here? To either filter the water prior to deliver the meter. Okay, fine. Specifically, having a FAD, this means that DEP must maintain adequate disinfection systems, implement watershed control programs, keep concentrations of turbidity, which is kind of a fancy way of saying sediment, and there are things that you don't want in water that can attach to these particles, and so we have to, keep our concentrations of turbidity low, below certain thresholds, and meet other requirements, or risk losing our filtration avoidance determination, the FAD. The FAD came. If things happen, it can go away, and then we have no other option than to build a filtration filtration plant, which at the time was estimated 30 years ago to be $6 to $8 billion. Who knows what it would cost today? I look forward to hearing from DEP about the good work they are doing to safeguard our drinking water supply and maintain the status of our FAD. As an aside, I'll turn briefly to the issue of the so-called rental payments, so-called rental payment that the Adams administration has requested of the New York City Water Board to the tune of $1.4 billion over the course of 4 years, $145 million in FY24, $289 million in FY25, which combines to $440 million, which we just did in the last budget. This comes from water rate proceeds with additional rental payments announced by the administration every fiscal year through 2028. The rental payments really have nothing to do with DEP. They're not the bad guys here, but there is a bill on the docket today that involves a rental payment, so I thought I'd give you a little background on the rental payment. Continuing in that, let's see. Earlier this year, the Water Board announced that it would increase water rates by 8.5% in 2025, in no small part to cover the rental payments that the Adams administration is charging the Water Board to lease the city's potable water and wastewater infrastructure. To be clear, this is the city charging the city for the use of city property and the proceeds of this scam. Oh, did I say scam? Oh my God. And the proceeds of this scam goes to the city's general fund to fill budget gaps that have nothing to do with water and sewer, any kind of service delivery in that realm. New York City water rates is supposed to be collected for the purposes of funding the entirety of the water and sewer system's operating and capital needs. By charging the Water Board for the rental payments, Mayor Adams is diverting money from these purposes to the city's general fund, leaving fewer resources available for much-needed infrastructure improvements and significantly increasing the financial burdens on ratepayers. Increasing the financial burden on ratepayers at the same time. Recently, the Water Board unanimously passed a resolution condemning the rental payment. However, the rental payment is legal. The mayor is allowed to ask for it. The rental payment, once upon a time, had a legitimate purpose. That purpose is now passed and paying off some old debt. It's a whole big long story. The debt that the rental payment was born to kind of pay off is now all paid off. Now it's just funneling money to the city's general fund. And I have my personal kind of like side project where I'm working with state legislators to try to put the rental payment out of business permanently. The city doesn't have the authority to do that. The Water Board and the Water Finance Authority were created by the state, so only the state can shut that down. And so that's what I'm kind of working with my partners in the state government to try to get that done. Let's get to the bills. My bill, Intro 816, would require DEP to provide written notice to ratepayers every time the city requests the base rental payment for our water and sewage infrastructure from the New York City Water Board no later than 15 days before the first water rate hearing following the request of the rental payment from the Water Board. No, the rental payment, that would be from the mayor. You get what I'm talking about. Requesting rental payments from the Water Board requesting rental payments from the Water Board, which is done by the mayor, amounts to a hidden tax on property owners, and any time an administration chooses to take this action, the ratepayers should be informed. So that's really like a notification thing. This is not the end of the road. I think I'm starting with that, but eventually I'm not going to be satisfied until the rental payment is out of business. It's a very seductive hidden tax that no one knows about, why it's so enticing for OMB, where I used to work once upon a time, to grab money like wherever they can when the city's trying to make a budget. That's what's really going on here, but they shouldn't be allowed to do that. If I have anything to say about it, they won't. Back to the text. Additionally, I have introduced a resolution, Resolution 83, which would call upon the New York City Water Board to notify all council members and community boards at least 30 days before a public hearing concerning an annual water rate, an annual water rate increase. While the Water Board currently cannot change the water rate without both holding a public hearing notice at least 20 days in advance, as well as holding public hearings in each borough, each of which we notice 7 days in advance. Judging from the lack of public participation at these hearings, the Water Board's current method of public notice are not sufficient. We'll also be hearing another of my bills. How many bills do I have on? We'll also be noticing another of my bills, Intro 33, which require DEP to notify relevant community boards and member offices 48 hours in advance of any planned work that might lead to discolored water or reduction in water pressure. Intro 225, sponsored by Councilmember Holden, to my left, would require DEP to post information on its website pertaining to schedule and requested infrastructure. You know what, I'm going to let Bob talk about his bill in a minute. Better to hear from him than from me. We're going to hear Intro 900, sponsored by Councilmember Powers. Councilmember, I'm assuming you're going to want to speak on your bill as well. Okay, we'll let Councilmember Powers talk about his good bill. And Intro 1067, sponsored by Councilmember Williams. Is Councilmember Williams? I got my reading glasses. What's that? Oh, Zoom. Okay. Where was I? Intro 1067, sponsored by Councilman Williams, would require DEP to issue a request for proposals for a community-based organization, or CBO, to identify residential. Oh, you know what? She's going to talk about this. So I'll just let her do that. Oh, I'm up to the good part, thanking people. I'd like to thank the committee staff, polyanalyst Ricky Chawla and Andrew Bourne, legislative counsel Austin Malone, to my right, financial analyst Tanvir Singh, as well as my legislative director, Josh Gachette, for all of their hard work. I'm going to recognize the council members that are here, then we're going to call upon the members that have bills on, and they're going to talk about that. We have so with us, we have a council member Holden, council member Mamarato, Powers, Brannan, Ressler, Williams on Zoom. We also have council member Aviles. And with that said, why don't we start this way and just go around? I recognize Councilmember Powers to speak on his bill. Councilmember Powers is duly recognized.
Thank you, Chair Gennaro, and nice to see everyone here today. And thank you to the committee for letting me speak about Introduction 900, my bill to increase access to drinking fountains and water bottle refill stations in public spaces across our city. I think this summer's heat wave underscored an issue that has long remained under the radar for many New Yorkers, which is the lack of water fountains and reusable water bottle stations in our city parks. While the city's efforts to expand the number of publicly accessible drinking fountains in recent years have been admirable, and I want to give them credit for that, in many of New York's most densely populated neighborhoods, the number of water fountains falls short of meeting the community's needs. Access to drinking water is a fundamental right for all New Yorkers and visitors, and ensuring this right is safeguarded is essential for public health and our city's overall well-being. The lack of convenient refilling stations promotes reliance on single-use plastic bottles, which of course undermines the city's efforts to reduce waste and combat pollution. Intro 900 will require the addition of 500 new drinking fountains in our public spaces by 2030, including water bottle refill capability and an emphasis on accessibility. It will require these new fountains to be distributed equitably throughout the 5 boroughs so that all of our neighborhoods have access to this. It also requires our city agencies to make recommendations on whether the program should be expanded and what challenges and issues are presented in the program. Each refillable water bottle filled at a public fountain represents a step towards reducing our environmental impact and increasing access to clean drinking water for our constituents. Of course, anybody who spends time inside of a city park, whether you are a family with children or walking your dog or just taking a walk through, having access to that water fountain, particularly on a hot day, is extremely meaningful. And for people who spend a lot of time in those parks that don't have access to it, it can mean a whole lot to them and their family to have access to good drinking water, and of course to not have to rely on single plastic bottles in order to do that. I want to give a lot of credit. I have some constituents and friends who are here today who have been working on this. I want to give them credit for being here and their work and their idea to continue to build on existing efforts inside in the city to expand access to water. I, of course, look forward to hearing from testimony from the DEP, who I know will certainly be in support of this bill and working closely with the administration to make this goal a reality. I want to thank Chair Gennaro for hearing this bill today and giving me an opportunity to speak on this important issue, and looking forward to hearing from the public as well. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Councilmember Powers. I recognize Councilmember Holden to speak on his bill, followed by Councilmember Williams on Zoom to speak about her bill. Councilmember Holden.
Thank you, Chair Gennaro, and thank you to the members of the Committee on Environmental Protection for the opportunity to present my bill, Intro 225. This legislation would require the Department of Environmental Protection to publish information on its website about requests it receives and work it has scheduled, anything from catch basin maintenance to hydrant repairs and other essential tasks. I know this may seem somewhat complex, but it's actually not. It's very straightforward. With today's technology and the clear need for transparency, this bill would empower the DEP to create a public database similar to tools that other agencies do, like, for instance, the New York City trees map, and the DOT case status map. So this is done already. Such a platform would allow New Yorkers to see updates on catch basins, hydrants, sinkholes, and other infrastructure showing when an issue was reported and when it was inspected and when it was repaired and is slated to be repaired. While this may seem like some work, I am confident the DEP can meet this standard, just like other agencies that I mentioned have done. This tool would greatly benefit New Yorkers by offering updates on essential infrastructure near their homes and would allow elected offices to check on issues in real time to better serve constituents. Right now we have to call DEP, we have to get somebody to talk to, and it just goes around in circles many times. So this makes sense, and I thank the DEP and City Hall for their willingness to discuss this bill with my office even before today's hearing. I look forward to hearing from the DEP and working with them to make any necessary adjustments to help bring this valuable resource to life. And again, I want to thank Chair Gennaro for allowing me to speak, and then for also hearing the bill today. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Holden. It's a pleasure. Next, I recognize on Zoom Councilmember Williams to speak on her bill. Councilmember Williams.
Hello, thank you, and good afternoon, Chair, members of the Committee on Environmental Protection. Today, I am proud to sponsor 1067 being heard today, a bill designed to address a pervasive and overlooked threat impacting residents across New York City: groundwater flooding. Groundwater flooding has damaged countless homes, affected essential infrastructure, and disrupted the lives of families in our communities. Yet, despite DEP's awareness of these challenges, little has been done to systematically identify effective properties or connect homeowners with the resources they need for repairs and flood adaptations. In Southeast Queens, groundwater flooding has worsened significantly since 1996, when the city's DEP took over the Jamaica Water Supply Company, which had previously managed water levels by pumping from local wells. DEP's cessation of well pumping caused the water table to rise by at least 35 feet, as admitted by the agency in 2007. DEP recognized the need for interventions then, but has yet to deliver an effective citywide solution. The results are evident throughout our communities: constant basement flooding, damaged homes and schools, and ongoing health and safety risk. For years, residents have been left to run costly electric pumps 24/7 to keep floodwater out of their homes, all while receiving little support from government. Intro 1067 offers a proactive solution to these ongoing issues and mandates that DEP issue a request for proposals to contract a community-based organization, or CBO, with direct ties to impacted neighborhoods. This CBO will be responsible for identifying properties citywide that are impacted by groundwater flooding and for connecting those properties with retrofit repair assistance and resources for long-term management. For at least 5 years, the contracted CBO will also provide case management and informational support to homeowners through mailings and other outreach efforts. The bill further requires that the CBO submit an annual report detailing the properties affected, the extent of the damage, the estimated cost for retrofits, and any insights for improving assistance programs. DEP will then communicate these findings to relevant state and federal agencies, because I do recognize, and I just want to state for the record, that this is a very complex issue, not solely on the city, but also too much responsibility of the state and federal government. This bill also establishes an interagency task force to focus on Southeast Queens, a community that has shouldered the brunt of groundwater flooding. This task force will be charged with recommending changes in the legislation to improve flooding assistance for the area and will be dissolved upon the submission of its 5th annual report. Intro 1067 is about giving our communities a voice and ensuring they have the tools to respond to a crisis that DEP knew would unfold. I urge the committee to support this measure, enabling us to bring relief to our constituents, protect their homes, and create a foundation of resilience citywide. Thank you so much, Chair. I've looked at many documents from my constituents from a few decades ago and smiled to see that you were the council member then, and I know as a staffer, when Archie Spingner was the council member, you know this issue very well. So thank you so much to you for hearing this bill today. And I look forward to working with DEP. We are working with them. So thank you already to DEP for really working with the Southeast Queens community to find some sustainable solutions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilmember Williams. Your comments were most gracious. I appreciate it. Thank you. And before you swear in the witnesses, I saw before we have former Assemblyman Bill Scarborough is here. He'll be testifying, and although he's no longer in office, he's still very active, particularly on environmental issues. He works a lot with Manny Kaufman. Is Manny here today or whatever? Okay. But I want to recognize Assemblyman Scarborough for his good work, and a lot of Queens elected officials stand on his shoulders for his decades of service to the people of Queens and the people of the entirety of New York State. Good to see you, Bill. Robert Cataldo is here. I give the mayor's office a hard time a lot, and Robert is always a very good sport about it, so if I'm going to be that guy, then at least I can, give recognition for his, always good-natured interactions with me when I probably deserve less than good-natured interaction. Let's put it that way. And so, thank you, Robert, for being here. And with that, what do I do now? Just go home? Okay. The council will swear in the panel, and then the commission will introduce his colleagues and proceed with this good testimony.
Please raise your right hand. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and to answer all council member questions honestly? Thank you. You may begin.
Oh, hang on. I got the big print version of your testimony. My staff is so good to me. Okay. I am good to go. Thank you, Commissioner.
All right. Thank you. And good afternoon, Chair Gennaro and members of the Committee on Environmental Protection, Resilience, and Waterfronts. I'm Rohit T. Agarwal, Commissioner of the Department of Environmental Protection, and I'm joined today by Assistant Commissioners David Warren and Shiloh Williams of the Bureau of Water Supply to talk about the Filtration Avoidance Determination, the FAD, and the preservation of our water supply in general. I will also share DEP's perspective on the several bills being heard today. New York City's water supply comes from a network of 19 collecting reservoirs upstate, ranging from Kensico and Westchester to Schoharie and Cannonsville, each more than 100 miles away from the city. 2 other reservoirs, Hillview and Yonkers and Jerome Park in the Bronx, are only holding reservoirs and do not collect runoff. Typically, 10% of our annual water consumption comes from the Croton network of reservoirs in Westchester, Putnam, and Dutchess counties, which are the oldest reservoirs and are the successors of the original Croton system of 1842. Croton water is all filtered at our Croton filtration plant in the Bronx, which opened in 2015. And as you know, due to the currently ongoing repair of the Delaware Aqueduct, roughly 30% of our water right now is coming from the Croton system. In normal periods, 90% of our consumption comes from the Delaware and Catskill watersheds, which are entirely west of the Hudson River. These 2 watersheds are covered by the FAD, which allows us to avoid filtering the water from these systems. The water is treated with both chlorine and ultraviolet light to disinfect it, but we rely on natural systems to keep the water clear. Going back to the origins of New York City's water supply in the 19th century, state law had given New York City the authority to regulate certain polluting activities in the watershed to keep the water clean. This gave us a head start when, in 1989, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency promulgated the Federal Surface Water Treatment Rule. The rule required all surface water supplies like New York's to be mechanically filtered unless the water supplier could demonstrate the water met certain health-based criteria and that there were controls in place to protect against contamination. In fact, all of New York City's water supplies, including the Croton system, met the rule's health-based water quality standards. However, the level of development in the Croton watershed meant that DEP did not believe it would be possible to control future potential pollution. As a result, DEP moved to adopt filtration for the Croton system and to seek a FAD for the Catskill and Delaware systems. The FAD is the regulatory waiver that allows New York City to avoid the filtration requirement of the surface water treatment rule. It is based on the ability of New York City to convince the EPA, and now, as the chair pointed out, the New York State Department of Health, that there are controls in place to protect against future pollution. There are many tests and reports that are required to document that we are maintaining both water quality and ongoing pollution prevention. And there are key tests we could fail, which would lead the Department of Health or EPA to mandate that New York City immediately move to build a filtration plant. The FAD also requires us to develop and maintain contingency plans for such a situation. When we speak of the FAD, as the chair pointed out, we are in fact speaking of several interconnected protocols. The FAD itself is a 10-year directive from the State Department of Health. The current FAD is up for renewal in 2027. Following the issuance of the first FAD in 1993, DEP was a party to the New York City Watershed MOA, as the chair mentioned, which was signed in 1997. In addition, DEP's land acquisition activities in the watershed in compliance with the MOA are authorized by a withdrawal permit, which is granted by the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. This permit expires in 2025, and we are currently negotiating the next 10-year permit. The FAD is a globally recognized pioneering example of payments for ecosystem services. Ultimately, by protecting nature and compensating watershed residents for the costs of those protections, New York City water ratepayers are paying to ensure that nature can filter our water, and thus avoiding the expense of building and operating a massive filtration plant. Since 1993, New York City has invested roughly $2.5 billion in the programs that make the FAD work. This is a sizable investment, but one that continues to pay off and is far smaller than what a filtration plant would cost. In 1993, when the first FAD criteria were implemented, the main risks to our water supply were human and agricultural. As a result, the FAD broadly includes 3 cornerstone programs. The first was the Land Acquisition Program, which preserves the pristine landscape that produces high-quality source water and protects against excessive development. When the reservoirs were constructed, the city purchased about 78,000 acres of land. Since 1997, we have tripled our footprint, purchasing an additional 155,000 acres in the watershed as bufferlands for water quality protection. By comparison, the entire land area of New York City is roughly 194,000 acres. We own more land in the watershed than there is land in the 5 boroughs. The second program addressed wastewater from the population of the watershed. DEP funded the installation of high-level treatment technology on more than 30 existing wastewater plants in the watershed. This treatment, known as tertiary treatment, effectively eliminates pathogens from the plant effluent and also reduces nutrient discharge. Further, DEP paid to construct new centralized wastewater systems in more than 20 communities. And DEP has ensured that more than 6,000 septic systems serving homes and small businesses have been repaired. The third program has addressed agricultural runoff. The watershed is home to hundreds of small family-owned farms that produce dairy products, beef and produce. Working with local partners, DEP subsidizes on-site evaluations of each farming operation and recommends tailored practices to reduce or eliminate polluted runoff. With DEP funding, thousands of best management practices have been installed on hundreds of farms in the past 30 years. These BMPs have the added benefit of often enhancing farm operations and profitability, thereby sustaining farming as a vital part of the watershed economy. These are voluntary programs, and today 90% of the large farms in the watershed participate. The FAD relies on a network of watershed partners who receive funds from DEP and implement our programs. These partners include the Catskill Watershed Corporation, the Watershed Agricultural Council, 4 local soil and water conservation districts, the Cornell Cooperative Extension, and the Catskill Center. These organizations are trusted in their communities and hence are often more effective at obtaining local support and participation than DEP would be directly. The midterm review of the FAD was completed, and New York State Department of Health issued revisions in 2022. As part of that review, the National Academy of Science undertook a review of the FAD so that all involved could benefit from impartial scientific analysis of the FAD and its programs. We are in the midst of applying for a new permit from DEC that will involve changes to our land acquisition program, including the focus on the highest priority areas. The next FAD is due to be negotiated for 2027, and we are already assessing what will be required for the FAD to continue for the foreseeable future. While not officially part of our FAD, another critical component of our overall watershed protection efforts is the DEP Police Department. Our officers patrol the watershed every day, and they maintain a detective bureau, an emergency service unit, a canine unit, and an aviation unit. The DEP police protect against threats to our water supply, including unauthorized access, encroachment on DEP land, and potential threats to our water infrastructure. They also work closely with local police agencies and assist during emergency situations. In fact, I will point out just this weekend we participated along with local police in helping to fight a forest fire up in Dutchess County, Boyd's Dutchess, in Dutchess County, including using our helicopter to dump water on it at one point. Their work is critical to ensuring that our surface water supply and our infrastructure are secure. The new union representing the DEP police are currently engaged in an effort to secure state and city approval for an appropriate law enforcement pension. DEP police have a civil service pension plan, not a law enforcement one. This means that DEP police cannot retire until age 63, while most police officers in New York State can retire after 25 years of service. Because our officers are fully trained and licensed, in fact, DEP has its own police academy, we are constantly losing our officers to other forces, in large part because of this massive disparity in the pension. We currently have nearly a 20% vacancy rate, despite doing everything we can to recruit and retain these important officers. DEP's outsized role in the watershed as a landowner, major employer, and police force makes it critical that we are a valued member of the community. I'm pleased to say that, in fact, we are held in high esteem by the residents of the watershed. In fact, we undertook a Siena poll last year to understand how watershed residents west of the Hudson viewed DEP, and we were rated very highly. In particular, watershed residents appreciate that DEP makes so much of our lands available for recreation, which is a cornerstone of the quality of life in the area and a key aspect of its tourism and second home economy. They also appreciate the benefits the DEP police bring. It was less widely understood that, despite being a government entity, DEP pays taxes on its property in the watershed. In fact, we are the largest taxpayer in all of the west of Hudson watershed counties, and the second largest taxpayer in Westchester. In many school districts, DEP actually pays a majority of the school system's revenues. All told, we paid $165 million in taxes upstate last year. More broadly, we have to be sensitive to the concerns of watershed residents who are often concerned that land acquisition and land use restrictions can hinder economic development. We incorporate public amenities into capital work when we can, just like we would do around the city. For example, we recently broke ground on an infrastructure project that will include a new parking lot for a local school. Going forward, we need to ensure that we are always on the lookout for ways that our operations can also create benefits for our watershed neighbors. By being an esteemed presence in the watershed, we can ensure that there is long-term support that will allow us to protect the FAD for generations to come, and for DEP to play a leading role in defining the future of the FAD. As successful as it is, the FAD is not necessarily permanent. It can be revoked on fairly short notice if we fail to fulfill our obligations or if our water quality fails to meet standards, even if those standards are caused by storms or other factors beyond our control. There are only 6 water systems in the United States that have FADs or their equivalents, and one of them, Portland, Oregon, recently lost their FAD because of the detection of naturally occurring pathogens that had not been in their sourced water before and required filtration to eliminate. EPA gave Portland only 10 years to build their treatment plant, which, at 135 million gallons a day is less than 1/10 the size of the plant we would need, and their filtration plant will cost roughly $2 billion. This cost reinforces the fact that we have to be vigilant. It also reminds us that the FAD must be based on the science. The FAD has succeeded not because it was good environmental policy or good economic policy. It has succeeded because it was sound water quality policy. The scientific review by the National Academy that I mentioned found that our land acquisition program could use adjustment. The region is divided into 4 areas, priority areas 1 through 4, based on their potential to impact water sources. Most important are the lands bordering our reservoirs and their tributaries, and these are priority areas 1 and 2. Further away are lands in priority areas 3 and 4. Until now, we have sought to acquire land in all of these areas, but the National Academy found that continued purchases in areas 3 and 4 would have no more benefits to water quality, while land in priority areas 1 and 2 remain as important as ever, if not more so. As a result, we recently altered our land acquisition practices to focus more on areas 1 and 2 and to end programmatic purchases in areas 3 and 4. Going forward, we must continue to ensure that the FAD evolves as threats to water quality evolve. Increasing water quality standards mean that there are limits to how much chlorine we can use to disinfect water after a major storm. Climate change means that intense storms are more frequent. While we have traditionally worried about human and agricultural contamination, the massive rebound in wildlife populations, particularly around the Kensico Reservoir, means that these are also now a source of potential contamination, especially after severe storms and after the short-term extreme droughts that climate change may bring, and in fact is bringing since we are in one right now. The new FAD in 2027 will need to continue to protect against historic threats and also guard against these new ones. What is certain is that the FAD will need to evolve. If it does not, it is far more likely to fail. And if it does not evolve based on the science, it will certainly fail. This is one more reason that DEP must be an esteemed presence in the watershed, and that we have to invest in our own research. We need to ensure that DEP has the standing to play a leading role in defining the future of the FAD. We must also plan for the possibility of full filtration at some point in the future, even as we seek to avoid it. The current FAD requires DEP to maintain contingency plans for filtration, and the experience of Portland, again, given only 10 years to build its filtration plant, demonstrates the importance of such contingency planning. As I mentioned, the FAD has been a point of pride for DEP and the city for many decades. It is a credit to our staff, to the many involved in creating it, as the chairman so eloquently described, and to the generations of dedicated civil servants who preceded us and laid the groundwork for the system we manage today. Before concluding, I'll take a few minutes to speak about each of the bills on today's agenda. Intro 33 would require DEP to notify council members and community boards 48 hours before work that would cause discolored water or loss of water pressure. Currently, our community affairs team notifies community boards as soon as we confirm locations for emergency construction. They also update impacted community boards and elected officials during water main breaks in real time. Prior to water shutoffs, our contractors and field operations teams post notices in neighborhoods and on doors with information on potential impacts and instructions. We are committed to keeping constant, robust communication with elected officials and residents. We have recently created the position of Borough Commissioner in our Community Affairs Unit, specifically to strengthen lines of communication. We would welcome discussions about how we can make additional improvements. Because this bill would codify and refine current DEP practice, we would like to work with the Council to ensure that it does not unnecessarily add cost or complicate operations. For example, we currently schedule work the day before it is done, so we could not send out notifications 48 hours before. As a result, we agree with the objectives of this bill, but would seek to collaborate on the language. Intro 225 would require DEP to establish a website with schedules and other information on a broad range of our operations. We currently provide a great deal of information, both in real time and through NYC Open Data, which includes fully 43 data sets, which DEP provides and updates. There's a list of those data in the final page as an appendix to this testimony. We offer real-time information on our website on a variety of topics ranging from reservoir levels and the source of water to each part of the city to whether the Newtown Creek gas-to-grid facility is operational. In addition to the MMR, we publish annual reports on water quality, on the state of the sewers, and of course on our finances. The bill as written is breathtakingly broad, and the information it seeks would, I believe, be impossible to convey in the way the bill seems to intend. Further, it would require significant cost and headcount to attempt to do so. We have several ongoing internal efforts that map our work that could be made public, and we would be happy to work with the Council to narrow the bill's scope and understand what information is needed for what purpose and by whom. Intro 816 would require DEP to notify by first-class mail all owners of property with water or sewer service when the city requests a rental payment on a strict timeline. I certainly agree that people should understand what their water rate payments are spent on. I would like to work with the Council, though, on the details. For example, a dedicated first-class mailing would cost about $1 million. Further, under the city's lease to the Water Board, we do not actually always know when the city will request a rental payment. Above all, DEP does not set water rates. Rather, they are set, as the chair noted, every year by the Water Board through a legally prescribed process that requires public hearings and notices. The Water Board is a state entity, as the chair noted. It is also important to note that the rental payment, if there is one, is not the only factor that is included in rate setting, as is illustrated in the chart included in the testimony from our fiscal year 25 rate hearings earlier this year. We have already been exploring the potential to let New Yorkers know how their water bills are being spent, as many other utilities do. An example of what that might look like is in the testimony. If ratepayers understand what their payments are going to, they would have the context to be more informed when looking at rate proposals for future years. Intro 900 would require DEP to install 500 drinking fountains around the city by 2030. While we support any effort that encourages more people to drink our tap water, we unfortunately do not believe that the proposal is feasible. Installing 500 fountains would cost about $20 million. DEP does not currently maintain any water fountains, so maintaining these new fountains would require hiring a new dedicated team of staff. We do not currently have sufficient staff or even the appropriate staff to do so. It is not clear that this would be a legitimate use of water rate funding, so we would need appropriations from general tax levy funding. We are happy to work with you to develop programs to ensure access to drinking water around the city, but we strongly believe that this proposal, as written, is not the best way to achieve that goal. Finally, Intro 1067 would require DEP to hire community-based organizations to identify properties that have been damaged by groundwater flooding, connect those property owners to assistance programs, and provide case management support to property owners. The bill also creates a task force focused on Southeast Queens flooding adaptation assistance. We have been seriously focused on the overall problem of flooding and on the challenges of Southeast Queens. For several years, as you know well, one of DEP's top priorities has been to implement better flood management around the city. This has included assistance to property owners through the Rainfall Ready program and the more recent town hall-style flooding information sessions that DEP has been hosting this past year, which included a flood preparation kit. We have also been focused on groundwater flooding. We have an ongoing effort with the U.S. Geological Survey to map and monitor groundwater levels across the city, which is of interest as sea level rise has been raising groundwater levels across the eastern seaboard. We have also been focused on those experiencing flooding in Southeast Queens. That part of New York City has $2.5 billion in the current capital plan for stormwater management, which means that it is receiving more investment than any other part of the city. We have also been working to clarify the groundwater flooding issue, and we find that some residents may be conflating groundwater flooding with other forms of flooding. We welcome the opportunity to work with the Council to expand our work. We do not think, though, that the program laid out in this legislation is the best way that DEP can support residents. DEP does not provide the sort of case management assistance to homeowners that would be required by this bill. Rather, one approach that we are exploring is whether the New York City Accelerator, overseen by the Mayor's Office of Climate and Environmental Justice, and which provides precisely this kind of direct advice and assistance to building owners around energy efficiency, could be expanded to offer advice to homeowners on flooding issues. We in the Mayor's Office of Contract Services also have concerns about the contracting requirements in the bill. The Law Department is reviewing, so we would like to discuss these issues in the near future. Today's hearing covers a number of important areas. I'm joined by several colleagues in addition to my two colleagues here at the table, sitting here with me and behind in the audience, and we are happy to answer any questions that you have. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. I appreciate your comprehensive testimony. In terms of how we proceed, we have, where's Bob? Okay. I think I'm here for the whole time, of course, but out of respect for my colleagues that have bills on, I think I'm going to be the nice chairman and let my colleagues that I know want to pose questions to DEP on their bills to do so. So we'll follow the same order as last time, because folks have places to go and they want to get their questions in about their bills. So I recognize Councilmember Powers to ask questions about his bill.
Thank you. Thanks so much. You're always a nice chairman in my eyes, so but appreciate it. Thanks for the testimony. Of course, we'd love to have had your support on expanding more water bottle fill stations here and drinking fountains throughout the city. But can you just give us some information today about the status on that? How many drinking fountains today currently have water bottle refill attachments?
Council member, DEP provides water to water customers. We do not actually provide drinking water fountains. As you noted in your comments, the bulk of the city's water fountains are actually in parks and are maintained by the Parks Department. So I do not have a catalog, nor is it something that DEP actually does.
Got it. And so in your testimony, noting that, had expressed concerns or opposition to the bill based on access to water, which is one of your main goals and missions. I understand the cost factor of it, but are you, are there concerns that go beyond the cost of it in terms of installing and?
Well, first of all, it's, I mean, we are concerned whenever the scope of our activities are expanded. This proposed legislation would basically require DEP to get into a line of business it has not been in the past. And so we would need a new set of operations. It is often assumed that everything DEP does can be funded by water bills, but in fact, the state legislation that authorizes the water board does lay out what water payments can and cannot be used for, which means that a project like this, would come out of the same pot of money that it would if the Parks Department or the schools or DOT through its street furniture contracts were asked to provide this. But
I do recall that DEP does programs where they provide like mobile water in the past, mobile water fountains and parks and open spaces. I think there used to be one right outside here at City Hall Park. I remember seeing one. What is DEP's role responsibility in terms of providing that is an example where you provide water fountain access.
Yes,
and
so
mobile, I understand, but our seems to be part of the plan to provide access to water.
Well, I think it is, so the water on the go stations, which you're describing, are very much temporary. They are not cheap because they have to be staffed, right? And so we tend not to leave them unattended. They really were developed as an emergency response mechanism. And so what we do when we have a water main break and there are going to be households without water for more than an hour or two, right? If we find out that it's going to take 6 hours, 10 hours, which is a minority of water main breaks, but nonetheless, an extended water main break that will leave people without water, we will deploy one, or depending on the size of it, sometimes two, water on the go stations so that people can fill a bucket, fill a jug, get safe drinking water without having to purchase it during that. That's why we have those water on the go stations. We have on occasion for events, we did it for open streets earlier, over the summer, we have provided the water on the go stations. To be entirely honest, we have been reducing the number of instances that we do that because we are effectively staffing that with people on overtime. And it's often on Saturdays and Sundays, and it was getting quite expensive. And so those are mobile, a mobile station is very different from a permanent one.
Are you staffing that with overtime because you are under your head count relative to where you used to be when you would staff those with normal staff, or what has changed in terms of your staffing that requires you to scale back?
Well, I mean, we are certainly conscious of managing our expense budget. That's something I'm sure everybody, is concerned about. And, they were basically a marketing device, right? It built awareness, provided an amenity, but it's really only justifiable as a marketing effort, an educational effort, because it is not really consistent with DEP's mandate. We have other things that we also do. As I mentioned, the flood kits. It's not clear at all that it would be an appropriate use of water rate funding for us to send every citizen in New York City or every resident of New York City a flood preparation kit. However, as a way to educate people about the need to do flood preparation, we've invested in that.
Got it. I won't take up too much time here. I certainly want the administration, whether it's DEP or other...
Keith, I'm happy to give you a little latitude. Go ahead.
Okay, I appreciate it. I'll still stick at my point, which is that, whether it's DEP or it's Parks Department, the goal here is to try to expand access to places where we did a survey in my office and found a lot of water fountains in public spaces, mostly parks, that will still a lack of in my district and places on the east side. I'm sure that's for the city as well. There's about 455 fountains, I think, currently in the city that have the water filling capability, so we still have a long way to go. I certainly would have enjoyed if Parks was here too, if they were going to speak to this bill, and the answer is going to be that your agency is responsible. We certainly would love to have the agency that is responsible here to speak to it, because maybe it is their mandate then to help expand us with that, and also figure out a partnership with the council, with our capital funding perhaps, about how we might do that in certain parks, or DDC if it's their projects that are leading to that. So I'm not putting that on you. I certainly know you speak for your agency, but from an administration standpoint, we'd certainly love to have more receptiveness to that and think about with us a plan to get you there, to get the city there, I should say, get us all there. So I'm going to forego other questions here, but mostly to just restate that I think this is a goal that we can achieve in the next few years. We can work together with the agencies to find it, whether it's DDC, because I know they did some projects in my district recently where they did put these stations in, parks, figure out the right agencies to do this, and then also figure out how to maintain them. So certainly would love to have them here as well to provide feedback, and we will reach out to them to get their feedback. But from an administration standpoint, for folks who are here from administration, I think there is a lot of public support for this, and do not want to live in the world of just being siloed from one agency to other. Let's have like a conversation with it, and we'll work with the administration beyond you guys to work on that, and would appreciate your cooperation as we do that. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilmember Powers. Now I recognize Councilmember Holden for questions on his bill.
Thank you, Chair. I see in your testimony, you said my bill would be almost impossible for you to carry this out. But that's why we have hearings to negotiate. So, for instance, we have a lot of catch basin requests, and you said it's on open data. But are there any other platforms that you have where we can check on the existence of, or at least the progress in a complaint, other than open data?
Right now, I don't think so. And so your characterization of the fact that you are calling us, that your office and others are calling us, is not wrong. Hold on.
So how do you solve that? My bill's trying to, and it doesn't have to be everything every complaint possible, because I understand that can get unwieldy. But if other agencies like Tree Maps can do it, or DOT can do it, I think there's a model already. So if we can, with the technology, I think that it's possible. It's not like, it's not insanely ridiculous to request, some kind of database.
Yes, and council member, I certainly didn't use the word ridiculous in characterizing your bill. I said what I mentioned in the testimony is that we do have a number of dashboards that we use in our operation. And your bill is prompting us to take a look at those to see
Right.
what of those we might make available. And we'd be happy to work with you on the specifics. I think there are some, for example, we have a schedule of when catch basins are due to be inspected. As I've mentioned in previous testimony, we do that based on an algorithm of risk. However, that schedule is not necessarily fixed because the same crews sometimes are the ones who do the cleaning, and so if you find a lot that need cleaning, that's an inspection, then the inspections get delayed and we do more of the cleaning. And usually it averages out, so we maintain a kind of a predictive schedule, but sometimes that happens. And then, of course, the cleanings aren't scheduled unless and until there is a finding, either that, a finding that an inspection yields that it needs to be cleaned. So, as I said, and as I appreciated in your statement, I think there's a way for us to work with you to use the data we have, and we will be happy to talk with you and your staff directly on the committee.
Right, because here's what's happening on the front lines, and I guess you know some of this, but for instance, we have a catch basin that needs cleaning. Somebody says there's an odor, it's been going on for months, we can't get anything done, and then the person tells us, well, there's a car always parked in front of it, and DOT doesn't even come out and put out a no parking sign the night before. So, and that's even in front of my house. I have the same situation. They never clean it. And you could, on certain days you really get it's a terrible odor coming from it. But for instance, I get, the biggest complaint I get is about water possibly being brown. I'm getting brown water, or, it's discolored. Why is this happening? Something very simple like DOT is milling the streets in the area, so that probably shook, I guess. I'm just guessing on whether that would cause, that discoloration of water. But there's a million other things, and again, it doesn't have to be, we could look at the top 15 complaints, what people care about, and then put that on some kind of, and just like we could log the complaints, and it might just take a few employees, I don't know. I mean, that's up to, I guess talking to the other agencies and see what they do, it might be a good thing. But I get a lot of sinkholes, fire hydrants leaking that take a very, very long time. But the sinkholes are all over the city, and I guess DEP puts it in priority because sometimes they go on for years. And so that's where we could say, we're expecting this to be done in 2025, toward the end, or depending on the severity of it. So other than personnel, what are the barriers from your agency to do this, or preventing you? Because you came out really kind of against it.
Well, Councilmember, what concerns me and us is really the list of things here. As I said, we would be very open, and in fact already have, prompted by this bill, looking at our existing dashboards and our existing schedules, and we'd be happy to share kind of what we think would be easy to do, because if we're already using data to manage our operations, then that should be, and there's nothing sensitive in it, then it would be very easy for us to share. Creating a new data set or a new set of protocols, that would be where the trouble is. And and I know it can be very frustrating as a nearly lifelong resident of New York. I feel similarly, and Councilmember Powers kind of cited it. Sinkholes are sometimes a DOT task, sometimes a DEP task, and sometimes, to be honest, it goes entirely back and forth. And when you see a sinkhole that takes a very long time, it's usually one of those.
And we know this because we get bounced back and forth many times, and that's what this might correct. Because right now, let's say DOT mill. I'm sorry, I just the chair. The chair's not here. There he is. Let's say DOT mills and paves a street, and then when they put the manhole covers on, it's loose. And now we go into another complaint area of DEP saying, well, that's really DOT, because when they put the asphalt down, the rim, they didn't clean out the rim, and then it's sitting wrong. And then that happened in me 3 times, and it still happens. So it's like we're getting bounced. And DOT says, no, it's DEP. DEP said, no, it's really a DOT issue. So this is where I think some kind of service where we could see the progress, we could see who has it. You know, if it's DOT, let it go in a database. But I think OTI might, if you work with them, I think they might have a solution to this. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councilmember Holden. I'd like to recognize we've been joined by Councilmember Zhuang, and I'm going to call upon Councilmember Williams to ask questions on her bill, just kind of like a point of order and council rules. But, you know, the rules of the council require that there be a quorum of council members in the room when a council member is asking questions remotely. So if any of you 4 were to leave while Nan is asking questions, I'd have to cut her off, and I don't want to do that. And so we have a lot of rules around here. And so I recognize Councilmember Williams to ask her good questions of the commissioner about her bill.
Thank you. The first question I have in High Commissioner, sorry I'm not there in person. I have a little person that is sick. So this is about mapping impacted properties. So I wanted to know what progress has DEP made in mapping the residential properties in Queens, Community District 12 and 13 that have been affected by groundwater flooding. How are these properties being identified, and what resources are available to help homeowners?
Thank you, Councilmember. As you know, as your question indicates, one of the things that we have been working on since earlier this year, really about February, we started, is an effort to understand who is experiencing groundwater flooding, particularly in your district and some of the areas that have longstanding complaints about the closure of the Jamaica water supply. To date, we've done some targeted outreach, including at one of the flooding training sessions that I mentioned. We've had 75 homeowners contact us or fill out the surveys that we have been handing out and asking for. We've targeted some of those through conversation with the Borough President's Office, who, as you know, has been involved on this issue for a while. And this is actually one of the reasons that I think very strongly that we need to think more broadly than groundwater in helping homeowners. As you know, we've done these citywide efforts, or it was really a pilot. We did a number of these flood awareness meetings because what we found was actually the majority of the people in the area of Southeast Queens that we talked to who replied to the survey, what they described was not likely to be groundwater flooding, right? Groundwater flooding seeps up usually through the foundation. There could be a sewer backup, which comes through the toilets or drains. It could be overland flooding that comes through windows or doors. And that's actually what a large number of the people we surveyed were describing. So that's as far as we've got. Also, thanks to your help, we do have a list of 7 nonprofit organizations that have experienced ongoing basement flooding, and we have been reaching out to them to understand more precisely what they are experiencing and what, at least currently, they are thinking about what they can do about
it. The other question I had to do with the pumping stations, and largely just, I know I've had some of these conversations with you already, but also wanted to know some activists, many who might be in the chambers today, have advocated for us to open back up the pumping station. So I just wanted to know if there was any feasibility studies on cost or what that could look like. Of course, I know it's contingent upon the state as well, but just wanted to know if there was any other feasibility studies to assess the viability of opening the pumping stations back up.
Well, there have been two efforts that we've undertaken, or not we've, two efforts have been undertaken on this topic. One, we took a look over the last year or so at the feasibility of restarting them. We did conclude, and I think I gave testimony on this in the past, that that restarting the wells, basically they've been out of service for such a long time. And water quality standards and the overall regulatory regime has changed so much that we think we would basically have to rebuild them entirely. It would cost about $1 billion. Separately, however, the state DEC, which would have to give a permit for any extractions from the old wells, issued a report that basically said it would be completely unfeasible for them ever to give a permit for us to restart the wells. So in fact, I think we need to be going the other way. I think it's time to start permanently decommissioning the wells, because if DEC, which is the regulating agency, says that they would never give a permit for us to extract water there, then it just becomes infeasible. And just to be clear, the reason there were two concerns that they identified, but the most important one is that they determined that if those wells were restarted, it would have a significantly negative effect on the underwater water supply that Nassau County relies on.
Okay, just one more question, and thank you so much, Chair, for your graciousness. On the bill, the retrofit assistance program, I know Senator Sanders convened a meeting between DEP and the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation in May 2024 to discuss flooding assistance and retrofit programs available to his constituents. HCR Resilience Retrofit Program was discussed, and all parties believed there was an effective program to assist homeowners with retrofitting their homes to mitigate flood damage. If Intro 1067 passes, is it the assessment of your agency that homeowners can receive assistance with retrofitting their homes due to groundwater flooding through this program? And has DEP and other sister agencies looked into the effectiveness of this program to provide funding to constituents in need? And lastly, what dialogue has your office had with HCR to make sure the program can serve our constituents here in New York City?
And before the commissioner replies to the questions, I'd like to indicate that I'm happy to give the council member a little latitude. She's over her time, but it's a very compelling question. And I'll have the commissioner speak to the questions just posed, and then we'll kind of move on in the hearing. But happy to give you the latitude, Nan. Commissioner.
Thank you. Yes, we did have that meeting, as you described. Of course, you participated as well. So to date, we've had a number of conversations with HCR about their program. Right now, my understanding is that they are acquiring or contracting with a new partner to deliver it. It's a reason that they asked us to hold off on actively making residents aware of the program, because they were not in a position to disperse more funding. I think the reality is right now that the pot of money is relatively limited, so it is not clear whether, if we got a lot of New York City residents. Traditionally, that program was marketed only to people on Long Island, even though in theory it's a statewide program. That was the conversation we started having with them about how they needed to focus more on New York City. They also, frankly, had been avoiding or excluding those homes that had the most chronic flooding, which seems counterintuitive, and to be honest, I couldn't quite understand it myself. They were basically saying that it's only houses that have occasional flooding that should be eligible, and we've been in discussion with them. I don't have anything definitive to report, and as far as I know, but I will check with staff and we can follow up at our next scheduled conversation, that HCR still doesn't have their new implementing partner lined up yet.
Thank you, and thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councilmember Williams. Okay, now it's, Councilmember Marmorato does not have a bill on, but I let everyone else go first, and it wouldn't seem right to just kind of wait for after all my volume of questions. So I recognize Councilmember Marmorato for questions.
Thank you so much, Chair. So it seems like a lot of great legislation is presented here today, and the unfortunate thing is it seems like a lot of them are getting the kibosh because of budgeting and lack of funding from DEP. And I just want to kind of go over something just to kind of get it on record.
Councilmember, could you pull your microphone a little closer?
Sure. Is it safe to say that DEP provides most of the city's stormwater flooding prevention?
Yes.
Yes, okay. When we discussed the city of Yes with Chair Garodnick, he had mentioned that over the last year, the city invested $1.2 billion in stormwater flooding. Does that sound about right?
I don't have it in front of me, but it sounds about right, yes.
And over the next 10 years, there's going to be $20 billion for stormwater flooding. Does that sound great? Does that sound like kind of correct?
I would have said, hold on just a minute. 20 sounds a little high.
It does sound high.
Our water and sewer budget in the 10-year capital plan is, I think, 9.7, but that doesn't include all the green infrastructure. So it's certainly
Sounds
more
really
than
high.
9. I'm not
Yeah.
sure it's 20.
And I asked him if there was other grants, federal or state. He was not aware of any of it, that it would be funding for you. And I was just curious as to where this $20 billion was coming from.
I will find out, but we are very aggressively seeking federal money. There was a
But it's not there right now, as of now.
Well, no, in fairness, we've gotten a lot of federal grants. We've been very successful at programs that are directly administered in Washington.
Right.
We've gotten,
But not what we've gotten, what there is now for the next, the 20 billion over the 10 years. There's nothing in place right now. Is that correct?
well, no, some of what we are going to be spending is awards we have received that we will be spending over the next couple of years, including, I think it's over 100 million in thank you, $230 million in federal money for cloudburst programs.
Okay, but I'm talking about the 20 billion that they
Well,
said.
that would be rolling into
200 million and 20 billion are.
Understood. It's a different
big
order of
difference. I
magnitude.
mean,
I'd need to get back to you on what
Yeah.
what
I would like to have that
20
information because
billion
that's really
was.
concerning, considering my district floods all the time from small little rainstorms, and we're going to create this city of yes and put a lot more stress over my infrastructure. And I just want to know where the money's coming from, how we're going to get it, because we can't build if we can't fix the problem before it.
Council member, if I could though, as I have testified here before, I think we have to be careful to not to conflate two separate issues. The City of Yes proposals.
This is not two separate issues. This is my district floods, and you want to build more in a low-density district that already cannot handle the infrastructure. And I don't think it's a DEP issue. I just want to know where the funding's coming from. I can't honestly, in good faith, vote on something to create more infrastructure issues in my community if we're already struggling.
All right, well, council member, as I have
And there's
stated.
nothing in place, no plan to fix it as of now.
Well, council member, I disagree.
We're going a little far
Okay, I
afield
just-
into
just-
City of
that's-
Yes.
Okay,
and
that's
so-
fine. I just wanted to know where that 20
I mean,
billion
I'll give a
was
little
and-
latitude, but there's a limit.
Yeah,
you know?
no, I'm fine. That's all I wanted. I just wanted that on record. Thanks, Chair. I
Sure, you bet.
appreciate it.
Oh, you bet, of course. Councilmember Schwang has questions as well. I get the Good Guy Chair Award of the Year. Everyone's asking questions before me, and so I'm gonna close this show. So, Councilmember Schwang,
Thank you, Chair.
I gladly recognize you for questions.
Thank you. I actually have similar question. My district also get flooded, and also a lot of time it's not be reported also. So the flooded chart you guys have in the website is not really reflect the district, because there's a lot of people have flooded because they don't speak English and that they don't know how to report it. And then do you guys have other language access program for the people that don't speak English?
Yes, of course. You know, DEP, all of our programs are covered by the city's all access laws, and we do comply with those. I think it's important to note that our flood maps are not only based on 311 calls. They are based on our maps of our sewer system, as I mentioned in a previous hearing, kind of a digital twin that we've now constructed of our sewer system so that we can understand water flows. It's got topographical data in there. It's got historical waterway, wetlands and things like that are in there. So it is not just a question of 311 data that informs those maps. We do not, any model is going to be partially wrong. I will say I've been generally pleased when I have visited neighborhoods that what we see on the map conforms to what people say. There have been occasions when we have updated it because we have found a pocket of something that didn't appear in our model and didn't appear in 311 data. But of course, as you know, 311 is available in multiple languages, and we do ask people to call 311 when they have flooding so that that can be an input into what we do.
And also in my district, we also have a lot of times have the electricity is, it has blackout in my district very often. Is any suggestion or anything you guys can do about it?
Blackouts?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, council member, that is entirely beyond our scope. DEP does not interact with.
So if we don't have enough infrastructure to support city of Yes, so how are we going to, my colleague already said, we don't have the infrastructure there. How do you guys convince us to vote city of Yes?
Well,
The
council
chair
member,
has
let me.
already kind of, just if I could, the chair has already indicated that we're wandering a little too far into the city of Yes. I mean, there has to be some tenuous connection to the topic before us. And, we're talking about the FAD, which is where New York City's water comes from. So that's really like the topic of the oversight hearing, where the city's water comes from. This is not a stormwater hearing per se. This is where the water comes from. So I'll give you, just to finish your thought or whatever, but I can't have members ask questions that don't have any connection to what the topic is today. And so something that relates to where the water comes from, that's what we're going for today.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. And also, I just want to echo my colleague, Councilmember Bob Holden said. He had the issue about when they paved the street. Some place saying this is DEP issue. Sometimes there's saying this is DOT issue. For us, we just wanted the problem resolved. This type of situation, who we should go to your administration, who we should speak to?
Council member, as I mentioned, Council member Holden, just the different agencies do have different jobs. And even if it is
have like a joint, this type of issue have a joint couple member from DOT, couple member from DEP.
Councilmember, what we do, and in fact has been very successful, we started it on Staten Island, we have undertaken it in Manhattan over the last year or so, and if funding allows, we will roll it out across the city, is a program where we actually have a DEP crew basically embedded with the DOT crew that is doing street repaving. And they go in, they do work before the milling and the repaving happens, and they go in afterwards. And it addresses actually precisely this problem that you've identified and that Councilmember Holden identified. We actually did it, if you look right here on Broadway about 6 months ago, that stretch of Broadway is perfect because we had DOT and DEP working together, and that is the kind of thing that, more than customer service, I think what we really want to aspire to is actually doing the job well in an integrated way, and that's something I hope we will be able to expand citywide.
Thank you. I would like to see more. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember, for your questions. During the last round of questions, Deputy Commissioner Licata chimed in, and so, oh yes, I know, I'm just saying. I just want to recognize that she's here because she chimed in and because we're like friends, so it's okay. I take care of my friends. And I recognize Councilmember Aviles for questions.
Thank you, Chair. You are certainly the most gracious chair.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I wanted to follow up on a couple of questions related to the legislation 1067. And apologies if you may have actually talked about this and I missed it because I had to step out. In particular, related to, does DEP measure the incidence of groundwater flooding across the city? And if so, how frequently does this kind of flooding occur? And in what areas?
We do not. We do not have a map. It is actually one of the reasons that we have started this work with the U.S. Geological Survey, just to understand where the water table is, and therefore to be able to keep track of how it may be changing over time. As you know, DEP is responsible for the water and sewer infrastructure. It does not mean that wherever there is water, it is our responsibility. And keeping basements dry is actually primarily the responsibility of the homeowner. Because of climate change, as I said, the water table is rising across the city, and this is something that's going on up and down the Atlantic coast, and so we are working with USGS to try to understand that. But no, as a result, we have not maintained a data set of who is experiencing groundwater flooding.
In terms of the partnership with USGS, are there particular timeframes related to that study and kind of milestones you're hoping to meet?
It is a multi-year effort. It did unfortunately take about a year and a half to get the contracting done. The contract is now underway, and I believe we should expect our first results in a year or a year and a half. But I would get back to you to be more precise and more confident in that.
Great, thank you. In terms of, in your estimation, what have been some of the most kind of effective infrastructure interventions to remediate groundwater flooding?
Well, Council Member, we have not, as I've said, we do not have the responsibility to manage groundwater tables around the city. That has not been part of DEP's role and responsibility. Generally speaking, when a home is built or any building is built, the groundwater table has to be taken into account, and lots of buildings, both around New York City and around the country, actually build in management of groundwater into their basements usually. And so the most effective thing that is often done is what's called a French drain, which is kind of a passive system that allows groundwater to drain out and stay out of the areas that should be kept dry. Many homes have sump pumps that they just use on a regular basis because there are many homes and businesses. And that's particularly true where you have a larger building that is going deeper and deeper, right? So it's one thing if a home has a basement that goes 10 feet below ground level, but sometimes you have buildings that go 30, even 40 feet below ground level, and often have mechanical equipment down there. And the reality is that if you're that level underground, there is a high likelihood you're going to have groundwater.
No, thank you for that. And what I hear you saying is certainly industry standards in terms of building should be very clear and up to date around climate change impacts. I guess what I'm wondering is where building standards meets kind of regulatory government engagement. So I guess what I'm trying to figure out there is like, how does government set the standards in protection given we know what the trajectory will continue to be? And it sounds like you've started that work with USGS, but it seems like it will probably be more and more if the city continues to experience more particular flooding.
I think you are certainly correct in saying that this is something that collectively the city has to take into account. You know, we are excited to get this information from USGS. You know, the building standards, as you know, are led by the Department of Buildings and in some cases by the Department of City Planning. And it may be that at some point we have to think about groundwater the way we are beginning to think about stormwater, the way that we have now dealt with coastal.
Yeah, thank you so much, and it was a real pleasure to visit the watershed with your team, so thank you, and I encourage my colleagues to do that. It's quite incredible infrastructure.
Thank you, Councilmember. I appreciate it very much. I have great committee members. And yeah, so now I'm going to get going. I'm going through your statement here as I normally do. I was making notes here. Where did I write that? Okay. You talked in your testimony, Commissioner, on page 10 about the Kensico Reservoir. Now, once upon a time, the 10 square mile watershed of Kensico, that's the watershed's still the same size, it hasn't changed. So you got the 10 square miles of the Kensico Reservoir. I'm going back a ways. I don't know if these numbers still hold up, but and because water passes through there, there's you know, the idea is that the least amount of native water in the Kensico Reservoir is the best situation. Now, when I last checked in, about 2% of the water in the Kensico Reservoir was native water from the watershed in which it resides. And once upon a time, how do I put this delicately, about 50% of material that would make its way into the water supply that presented some concern or challenge came from that 2% of native water. And I'm wondering if that's still the reality, or whether there have been mechanisms that have been put into place that that have changed that dynamic. Whoever wants to speak.
Well, I'm going to say a word, and then I'll ask Assistant Commissioner Warren to say more. So, what you're describing is basically why one of the reasons that we've made the decision that we've made to sunset our active land acquisition in priority areas 3 and 4 and focus on these really high priority areas, and to a certain extent, like, we don't have it, but that Kensico watershed is kind of priority area 0, right? I mean, it doesn't get more valuable than that, and in fact, I'm very pleased. We had a very expensive but very successful piece of land in Mount Kisco, Mount Pleasant, that we've had our eyes on for a long time, that we are actually in the process of acquiring, which is a big win, because any piece of land we can get in that Kensico watershed is super valuable, and of course is sometimes 2 orders of magnitude more expensive than land in the west of Hudson watershed, just because of the property values in that area. There have been a number of things that we have done in terms of shoreline stabilization and other things around Kensico, but for the details on those, I would turn it over to the Assistant Commissioner.
Sure. Thank you, Commissioner. Yes, and Mr. Chair, you're...
please state your name for the record for you.
Of course, yeah. David Warren, Assistant Commissioner for Bureau of Water Supply. And yes, Mr. Chair, your recollection is correct about the size of the watershed and the approximate contribution of the water that comes from the watershed as opposed to the aqueducts that bring water from west of Hudson. Because of the importance of Kensico in our operational scheme. A lot of effort has been focused on the basin since the early 1990s, and we have implemented a number of practices around the reservoir. We've put stormwater detention basins on every single tributary that comes in from the drainage area. We have installed spill control booms and measures at key points around the transportation infrastructure.
All this being done to keep native water out of the reservoir.
To keep contaminants in native water out of the reservoir, yes. As the commissioner mentioned, land acquisition has been a focus. There's a limited number of vacant eligible acres in the Kensico Basin, approximately 1,000. Thus far, we've bought about 375 of those acres, of that 1,000 acres, and we have an additional key parcel under contract, which would be about another 60 acres that we intend to acquire. And then most recently, we've completed projects right around the one of the intakes to stabilize the shoreline. We came to understand that wind that was coming from a certain direction was building up wave action coming down the basin, and it was eroding the shoreline immediately adjacent to the intake, and then causing or contributing to turbidity readings at the intake. And so we undertook an extensive program to riprap the shoreline on both sides of the intake to prevent that kind of wave action, that wind-induced turbidity, from causing impacts at the intake. So a lot of effort has been made and focused on Kensico since the earliest days of the FAD, and it continues to be a primary focus.
Yeah, thank you for your good efforts. With regard to the continuation of the FAD, Commissioner, what is the perspective of the regulator, in this case, state DOH? You interact with them, and in terms of threat to the FAD, would you put the Kensico high on that list of things that you're concerned about?
Well, look, Kensico, as you've described, Kensico to a certain extent is one of the key potential points of failure, and has been since the beginning, right? And as I mentioned in the testimony, the dramatic increase in wildlife has the potential, coupled with extreme storms or particularly periods of drought that accumulate a lot of stuff that then gets followed by an extreme storm, to flush contaminants into Kensico kind of at the point in the system that we are least well equipped to deal with it. Because upstate, of course, we have lots of reservoirs. If one of them gets turbid, we turn it off.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
We let it settle. We can use one of the others. We only have one Kensico. And so that is why it continues to be, and probably the changes that we are seeing in terms of water quality standards, climate change, and changing wildlife populations probably makes Kensico even more outsized as we think about the future of the FAD.
When we talk about wildlife, what kind of species are we talking about?
It's a combination of white-tailed deer populations, raccoons, other small mammals that are abundant around the shore.
Pardon?
They're abundant. There are a lot of them around the shores of the reservoir. As you know, we do have an active waterfowl management program that has been in place since the early 1990s. We've done a very effective job of controlling potential pollution threats from ducks, geese, gulls, and the monitoring data showing the effectiveness of that program is quite striking. But it's really the mammal populations that are of concern at this point.
The mammal population. Not to sound like a meanie, but one way of controlling mammals is to control mammals. Has that been given any thought? I'm trying to use a euphemism here. I mean, why, trapping, relocating, you know, I don't want to roll out the K word here, but, you know, I mean, I don't know. What's the thought process there?
Well, Councilmember, look, I think what you're talking about is exactly the kind of thing that we have to start thinking broadly about. Whether some of the solutions you've just identified are the right ones, I don't know, but that, you know, Dave and Shiloh have begun working together on thinking about what the new threats are and what some of the potential solutions might be.
Yeah.
You know, as Dave just pointed out, you know, the issue of waterfowl has been clear since the beginning of the FAD, and that's why there's been a long-standing effort. Frankly, as we know, the deer population in Westchester County was a lot lower in 1993 than it is today, right? So it wasn't top of mind. But thinking about a science-based way to address that risk is exactly what we have to do going forward, which may mean that other aspects of the FAD change in order to add something along those lines. But again, we will be thinking about what the best approaches are, and I don't know enough about wildlife to speculate, but at least just logically, one of the challenges is, as you point out, the Kensico watershed itself is actually quite small, and particularly deer walk. So, like, it's not necessarily a captive and resident population, it's a moving population.
Right.
And we have taken some initial steps. We've done some limited trapping and relocation, but we also have, on a regular basis, a scat collection program immediately around the intake. Actually, I think on a weekly basis now, we're doing scat collection, where we go out and we collect scat piles from any and all species that may have been in the area.
Right.
And that has helped us control baseline coliform levels at the intakes.
Sure, because now it's, you know, to lose the FAD is, as the commissioner outlined, a real big deal. How are we doing with impacts from Westchester County Airport? How's that going?
Look, so Westchester County Airport, again, is something that we've long known is one of the big risks. We have an active effort to basically to seal off runoff from the airport. Most of the airport actually does not drain into Kensico. It's only a small portion that does. And over the last 30 years, there have been a lot of stormwater management systems put in place so that does not drain.
Great, because once upon a time, that was a lot of action about that. So the new FAD would be reauthorized in 2027, I think you said, right? And so what steps are going on right now with DOH and other regulators, because there's like a run-up to the reauthorization of the FAD? Are these regular meetings? Does it include just DEP and state health, or are there other actors that are part of that process? I'm just trying to get a handle on how the process works.
Sure. Well, I'll ask both Dave and Shiloh to say more specifically about the tasks they are undertaking. But basically, we started thinking about this about a year and a half ago, and as part of a strategic review of the agency, we took a look at the long-term risks facing the FAD, which of course Dave and his colleagues at BWS had been seeing in the data, in the numbers, some of our episodes in the past in the aftermath of extreme storms and things like that. We actually, when was it? It was last year, I think, that we presented to DEC, right? Yeah. So we actually took, once we had coalesced some of our findings about this issue of water quality standards, climate change, and the changing landscape, meaning that the next FAD would have to be different. We took that to, we first did a joint presentation of our thinking to the Department of Health and DEC. They were both involved. We've had a number of conversations at the staff level with them over time. I also presented that same information to some members of the advocacy world, including, I think, Eric at NRDC, who's here.
I was actually going to, you know, that was going to be my next question,
Yep.
because when we first did this, there was, you know, the Environmental Coalition, or like whatever they call themselves, that were very active in trying to, you know, create common cause and move this forward. So,
Right,
is that formalized, or is there
It's not formalized at the moment. What we have, and I will ask you to talk about, we do have an ongoing set of conversations now with DOH and DEC, kind of in an informal way, but nonetheless ongoing. Dave and Shiloh actually organized several months ago a research symposium where we actually had senior officials from all of the other cities that have filtration avoidance determinations came to Westchester County, and we spent 2 days with them. I joined for one full day because it was so valuable to understand what they are seeing and what they are doing in their watersheds. Some are very similar, some are very different, but it's always very useful. And in fact, Shiloh and Dave are working together on developing a kind of a DEP perspective on what the future of the FAD will be, in conjunction with these conversations with DOH, DEC, and certainly we are keeping a dialogue with key stakeholders as well. Anything that I didn't talk about that we should add?
I would add one thing. This was referenced in the commissioner's testimony. Part of the framework here is a permit that is issued by New York State DEC that allows us to acquire land. Our current permit expires at the end of 2025, and we have been for some time in active discussions with a broad group of stakeholders, including the state, including the communities, including the environmental parties. I believe Eric is here today. I think I also saw Victoria from Riverkeeper, who has been at the table to negotiate the terms and enhancements and modifications to the land acquisition program. So the focus has been, for the moment, on that first deadline of 2025 with the permit for the land acquisition program, and then that is going to build into the discussions around the successor phase.
Now, having been a deputy commissioner at DEC for a number of years, they're very sensitive, that agency is, to the wants and needs of the upstate community, as they well should be. But in my tenure there, sometimes I see a little bit of a tilt towards the upstate communities, and I'm just wondering, I don't know if you really answer this, but is there any pushback from DEC, you know, regarding reauthorizing the Land Act permit by virtue of you know, local stakeholders up there feeling that New York City currently owns enough of upstate land, and they would prefer to be, you know, to control like the destiny of their area. I think you know what I'm saying in a very clumsy manner here. I know what, and because there've been other things. I mean, like the state. I mean, I think if the state had its druthers, we'd be using the reservoirs for upstate flood control. I mean, you know, they're just, it is what it is. And so, how's it going with regard to, yeah, I mean, I know you don't want to say anything that's going to get back to you know, to DEC or whatever, but am I getting warm here, or what do you think?
Well, Council member, I think, first of all, I'll say I think we are on track to get this permit renewed, right? And there has been an ongoing intensive collaborative process that involves DEC, that involves the local communities, that involves many of the institutional stakeholders like NRDC and Riverkeeper. It's through that set of conversations that, in fact, DEP put forward the statement that we would intentionally suspend in programmatic land acquisition in priority areas 3 and 4, which was something that the local communities were very in favor of. The dynamic that you're describing is really why I was stressing in my testimony that what's important to the FAD is that we remember that it has to be good water quality policy, right? If we allow other issues like economic development or more general environmental efforts or what have you to take primacy over the water quality science, then we put the FAD at risk. That is something that no matter who's listening, that is something that DEP is going to be saying over and over again.
I just came up with a question. Let me put it this way, that doesn't get anybody in trouble. Let's just say there was like a host of severe storms upstate, and the state were to put pressure on DEP to regulate its reservoir levels in order to accommodate upstate flood control. What ability, like legal ability, would DEP have to preclude the state from leaning on you folks like that? How would that work? The state said, look, like we need a little, we need a little help with flood control. This reservoir is going to have to take a little bit of a hit, but you have other reservoirs, you're going to let this settle out or whatever. I don't know how that power dynamic works, or how that, or like the legal authority of that would work.
Well, look, I will say, and I would have to get back to you on kind of the legal specifics of that. Ultimately, as we all know, the city is a creature of the state. So ultimately, one way or another, the state will get its way. What I would also point out, though,
because that's what I see, like the benefit of the environmental community being involved, the Eric Goldsteins of the world, to rally the troops to make sure that the state doesn't get any ideas about, let the state have any ideas other than having as first and foremost the water quality for half the people in New York State. And so that's how I see the benefit of the Environmental Coalition, because everybody knows, they all have the governor's phone number. And so, so that's how I think that is a good thing that you're doing that.
And Council Member, or Chairman, I think that's certainly I've been trying to work very closely with the environmental community. I would hope that particularly NRDC and Reverend Kiefer would say that we have been doing that, certainly under my leadership, and I think that's got a long tradition at DEP. I will say, I think, frankly, it doesn't matter who. What we are always going to be focused on is the water quality science, right? I would say there are people who also want to use the FAD as an excuse to do all sorts of things for recreation or wildlife protection or land acquisition, whether it matters for water quality or not. We need to defend against that. I would agree with you that we need to make sure that everybody understands that our water infrastructure is mainly there to deliver clean drinking water to 10 million people across New York State. And where we can be a positive force in the watershed, of course, we can and should do that. And one of the things that we have to do is regularly look at what we are doing. And I think that's something we've done a lot. This rethinking of land acquisition is based on the fact that this National Academy review took place. We're thinking differently about the threats to the FAD because we stepped back to say, well, all right, how are circumstances changing? How does the FAD have to change? I was really pleased earlier this year to do an announcement with a number of officials in the watershed and with the Ulster County Executive and State Senator Hinchy about the interim release protocol from the Ashokan Reservoir, which for 14 years, I think, has generated a lot of controversy because it directed us to release turbid water into the lower Esopus Creek, which had primarily visual and aesthetic impacts on the communities downriver, but nonetheless, they were vociferous about how much they didn't like it. And frankly, 14 years ago, those releases were important to our ability to maintain water quality. With some changes and investments that we've made, particularly the interconnection at Shaft 4 that allows us to send Delaware water through the Catskill Aqueduct, we found on reconsideration we didn't need to do those releases at all. So we were basically able to go to the local community and say, hey, look, do you want us to do releases for flood control, or do you want us to do no releases so that the water in the lower Esopus stays clear? You choose. We really don't care because it's fine either way. And working with the local community, they reached a consensus that we have now embraced and is now enshrined by DEC. So that was a great example of how, because we looked again at something that we had looked at 14 years ago, but circumstances had changed, we found a way to avoid being a negative impact and yet to protect our primary job of delivering clean water.
Thank you. Is there any successor to the organization that used to be called the Coalition of Watershed Towns, or is now you just deal with with like the county executives and elected representatives, or so in terms of, because there was this formal Coalition of Watershed Towns, does that still exist?
They're still there. Yeah. No, I met with CWT only a couple of weeks ago, actually. Rick Coombs and I got together. So yeah, no, CWT is certainly an active participant still.
Is their lawyer still Jeff Baker? Really? Oh my God. So let me amend my previous statement at the outset of the hearing. So it's Eric Goldstein, it's Jeff Baker, and me. And so, okay, after all these years, I haven't talked to him in 30 years, but I just remember his name. And so, wow, I guess he's getting older too, right? And so, yeah, a lot of that going around. So the construct's still there. And so, let's see what else these are my distance glasses. Did that. Oh, is there anything you need from us about like the vacancy rate and the cops? I don't think there's anything. That's not a council thing, right? It's just we can't legislate that. We can't whatever. They get
that is correct.
The cops get the best training, and they get cherry picked by local police departments.
Yeah, we routinely, we do have very high quality training, really proud of them. We just did a graduation of what was unfortunately one of our smallest classes ever. Just last Friday I was up at Kingston to do the graduation, only 4 new officers from a class. We need a lot more in the next class next summer. As you say, the pension is a state legislative issue. At some point, were the state legislature to consider that, there would be a need for a home rule.
Do we have anybody to do that?
There would be a
interested in
need for
doing that?
Sorry?
Is there anybody, interested in doing that?
Well, look, as I said...
Or is it the case that upstate communities like to hire the best trained cops without having them going through the expensive training themselves?
Well, I would certainly believe that they do appreciate that. I don't know that that I've seen any evidence that anybody is actively trying to get in the way of our police getting a fair pension. But as I was going to say, at some point, were that legislation to move forward, which, as I said, is thus far being pushed by the union, it would require a home rule message from the council. So the council would have a role.
Okay. You should put Shams on that.
So I'll take that under advisement. Thank you.
Shams not here, is he?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, really?
Should be.
Oh, okay. Good for Shams. He used to work for my office once upon a time. But then he realized that, what am I doing here, Josh, don't get any ideas. You made reference to Portland, Oregon. They lost their FAD. They had pathogens that they heretofore had not seen. You know, we're all concerned about Portland, but you know, do we have an analog here in terms of same kind of pathogens or whatever, or?
So the detection, they had a pathogen detection of Cryptosporidium, which they identified as being from a wildlife source. And yes, we do have that similar sources of Cryptosporidium from wildlife. At the time, Portland did not have, well, we have ultraviolet disinfection.
Right.
Right, and so we have that second barrier of disinfection between the chlorine and ultraviolet.
But yeah, but the crypto don't care about chlorine. How about the UV? Does that get the crypto?
The UV is effective at ensuring that the Cryptosporidium, the pathogens, cannot reproduce. It doesn't remove them from the water, but it renders them inability to reproduce, and that reproduction in the human gut is what causes illness. So we have very low levels of pathogens at our key points, our regulated intakes, and then with the two barriers of disinfection, we feel confident that we're protected against pathogen introduction into the distribution system.
Good. I want that. Good answer. What's the final on Hillview? Another 30-year-old issue. I think Rit told me recently, but might as well just put it on the record that the Hillview, the feds wanted us to cover the Hillview Reservoir. DEP wisely said, "Is this the best use of DEP resources to protect water quality?" This has gone around so many times that I can't remember where it even is. So, but it's someplace. So what's the final on?
Right. So yes, despite the perspective that New York City embraced at the time, EPA did require us to undertake the cover at Hillview. It was memorialized through a consent decree that was actually now the Department of Justice. So we have a DOJ consent decree that incorporates a series of steps through to 2045 or 2049, which is the final date at which Hillview must be completely covered. There are a number of milestones that we have to meet. One of them is actually, two of them are currently underway. One is a set of upgrades to the intakes at the southern end of Hillview, which are about to be completely reconstructed. And another one is the Kensico Eastview connection, which provides the second connection between Kensico Reservoir and the UV plant, a really important project. Hillview, the current work at Hillview is something like $800 million. The KEC is going to be about 1.2, this particular project, and then there's actually further work that will have to happen sometime over the next several years. Ultimately, we will be covering it. Next year, we have to submit a report to DOJ as to a preferred design, and there are several different strategies under consideration, and we'll have more to say as we get closer.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. No, I don't think I want to do that. With that said, I think we're good. I just want to sort of close out with a statement and a pledge. This is how I started my career. I came to the council in 1990 as a staff member. This thing started to pick up, and this was such an amazing journey for a then young man to be engaged in, to kind of be a little part of making watershed history. Nothing like this has ever been done in any other watershed across the country. And the journey continues. And I have, a lot of faith in the good folks from DEP, including Paul Rush, who I understand couldn't be here today. He's doing important things, as he always does. And you have a partner in me as chair of this committee. And I don't speak for the full council. Oh, are you pulling this down for a reason? No. Oh, fine. I was in the middle of my thing here. And I look forward to ongoing engagement, with DEP, and the environmental community, to make sure that, we can meet the new challenges, keep the FAD going. I guess one more question. Is there any estimate whatsoever as to, how about I just ask this scary question? It's just, is there any estimate of how much a fully loaded, Cat Dell filter with all the options and the power steering wheel on the Landau roof and everything you can imagine in a filtration plant, how much that would cost and how long would it take it to build, and do we even have a site for it?
So under the
It's meant to
FAD,
be scary, so you should give a scary answer.
Yeah, well, it is pretty scary, no question. We do have a site for it, although one of the things we are doing as part of this work is exploring whether there are different approaches to a filtration system. Kind of the kind of most straightforward way would be to build a filtration plant that would be sized to not the daily maximum draw of the city, but actually the peak hour. So it would require roughly a 2 billion gallon per day equivalent. If you take the Portland example and you scale it up, the Portland plant is 135 million gallons a day and is a $2 billion plant. We're looking at something between 20 and maybe 40 billion. Could easily be the most expensive factory anywhere in the United States. The site, as I said, is at the bottom of Kensico near the UV plant. We could build it there. However, again, as I said, we are also thinking about different constructs. Do we, even in a world in which we needed filtration, do we really need that 2 billion gallon capacity, or are there ways to manage the peak couple of hours in the morning so that we don't have to build that church for Easter Sunday, as they say? Are there ways that we could think about locating plants further upstream, especially west of Hudson, which would be much more effective in terms of construction costs and land prices? All of those are things that we are thinking about as part of this going forward. But yeah, it's an expensive and scary idea.
And the purpose of that question is to scare everybody into the imperative that we keep the FAD going in perpetuity. And for those in the audience who don't know what a Landau roof is on a car, you have to look it up, but that was a thing once upon a time. And I make notes on words that have never been used in the committee before, and this is the first time the words Landau roof have been used in this committee. And so that is in the record now. And so, not to close off on a silly note, this is a very, serious endeavor that I indicated you have my full cooperation, but you also have my full confidence that we'll be able to do this. And that is the, collective us. It's you folks, it's the council, it's the environmental community. And if you need anybody to push DEC around, let me know, okay? And so, with that said, I thank this panel for its excellent testimony. Shams knows what he has to do. We're just going to take a brief reset while I go wash my hands, and I think the first panel is going to be the Independent Budget Office. And you know what, while I'm doing it, why don't you read the boilerplate stuff, or do I have to read that? Oh, I have to read that? Okay. We're taking a 2-minute recess anyway, okay. Okay, we're back. We never close. And do I have testimony from the? Oh, okay. But I don't read the thing until the public, right? The public testimony. Okay. Oh, I've got a high microphone here. Okay, this is the IBO, right? And so, you know, being a full-fledged city government institution or whatever, you know, there's no way I could, in you know, clear conscience, just hold you to the, you know, 2 minutes that the public testimony folks get. So you get the 2 plus the 5 for a total of 7. I figured that was the least I could do for our partners in government, and so. Very great that I'm very grateful that the IBO is involved, and I welcome the IBO to all our hearings. And so, you got to swear them, right? Okay.
Please raise your right hand. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and to answer any council member questions honestly?
I do.
And
I do.
And
Thank you.
before you get going, do we have written testimony from IBO in hand that can have? Oh. Is the print small enough? I gotta hold it like this. Once again, thank you very much for being here, and please proceed with your good testimony.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Chair, Gennaro, and members of the committee. I am Jordan Page, Environmental Budget and Policy Analyst for the New York City Independent Budget Office, or IBO. I am joined here today by my colleague, Brian Kane, Assistant Director of Housing, Environment, and Infrastructure. IBO is an independent, non-mayoral city agency that conducts fiscal and policy research for the city. Earlier this month, we published a report examining the rate setting and billing process of the city's water and sewer system. My testimony today will highlight key takeaways from this research. After the 1970s fiscal crisis, investors were hesitant to buy general obligation bonds backed by the city's general fund. In the 1980s, the water and sewer system was financially separated from the city government to issue water bonds. Water bill revenue was removed from the general fund and moved to control of the water board to be used exclusively for water system maintenance, operations, and debt service, or new water finance authority bonds. The 1985 Water Board lease agreement granted the water board permission to use the city's water and sewer system. However, one provision of the agreement allows the city to request an annual rental payment from the water board. This so-called rental payment was intended to make the city whole as it paid off pre-existing debt related to the water system. That debt, which was the initial justification of the rental payment, was fully paid off in 2005.
Was fully paid off in 2005, like
Yes,
that's where
sir.
we are, right? Okay, keep going.
But the city's collection of the rental payment did not end there. Since then, the rental payment has simply become a mechanism to move revenue from the water and sewer system to the city's general fund as a source of additional revenue. Once in the general fund, it can be spent at the discretion of the mayoral administration and can be put towards any of the city's budget priorities. In recent years, the city's use of the rental payment has varied. Referring to city fiscal years here, every year from 1985 through 2015, mayoral administrations requested the rental payment. In 2016, notably, when the city saw strong revenue collections, the de Blasio administration requested only a partial rental payment. The city did not request rental payments for the next 3 years. When the city faced financial uncertainties during the pandemic in 2020 and 2021, the de Blasio administration requested partial rental payments. Under the Adams administration, there were no rental payments in 2022 and 2023. The rental payments were resumed midway through 2024, when the Adams administration requested a partial rental payment of $145 million.
Which they didn't do in FY24. They waited until the next year, and then they reached back. We were still in 24, but they reached back And so they did the combined 24 and 25 for a total of $440 million, which
Sure.
you're probably going to talk about.
So this collection of the rental payment was predicated on the basis that the city needed help covering the rising cost.
Oh, I lost you again. When the city, okay, under the administration, this was predicated, right? That's what
Yes,
you are?
sir.
Okay,
Yes,
go
sir.
ahead.
This was predicated on the basis that the city needed help covering the rising cost of caring for asylum seekers. But IBO's revenue and expense forecast painted a less dire financial picture than the administration's. Under the same justification, the city plans to charge the maximum annual rental payment from 2025 through 2028 at around $300 million each year. Whatever amount of the rental payment the city requests, the Water Board has to set rates to not only cover the cost of water system maintenance and operations, but also the cost of the rental payment. Of the 8.5% total rate increase in 2025, 3.1 percentage points are attributable to the rental payment. These rate increases are seen directly by property owners because they receive the water bills. Rate increases also indirectly affects residents of rental, condo, and co-op apartment buildings because economic theory suggests that some, if not all, of water bill costs for apartment buildings are ultimately borne by the residents. However, renters rarely see water bills directly and are likely to miss public notices included therein. Whether or not the city will request the rental payment creates uncertainty in the Water Board's rate-setting process each year and has fiscal implications for city residents. With the retirement of the water system general obligation debt in 2005, the rationale for the rental payment continuing is not clear. Turning our attention now to water billing structures, IBO would like to briefly highlight a key finding from our analysis. New York City has 4 billing structures for water and sewer ratepayers. The 2 most common structures make up about 94% of all water bill charges. 70% is for metered bills, which are assessed based on the amount of water used at a property. The other 24% is from the Multifamily Conservation Program, or MCP, which charges a flat rate per apartment to qualifying multifamily buildings. IBO made some important observations to property bills under the metered and MCP structures. Using 2020 water bill data, we found 82% of apartment buildings that pay metered water bills will bill less.
Lost you again. What's that last sentence?
So we're in the bullets now.
What's that?
We're in the second bulleted section on the last page now.
Bolton, so, okay, using 2020 water bill data, is that what you are?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Using 2020 water bill data, we found 82% of apartment buildings that pay metered water bills were billed less than those in the MCP per apartment. The MCP rate in 2020 was about $1,000 per apartment. MCP properties are typically larger, older apartment buildings. Notably, the Bronx has the highest concentration of MCP properties, and also many nicer properties are enrolled in the MCP. New York City still has some of the lowest water rates in the country. However, in general, water bills are seen as regressive in the sense that everyone pays the same rate, regardless of having limited income or ample disposable income. But if MCP properties are charged more on average than most metered apartment buildings, that could make water bills even more regressive. Without seeing actual water usage data for these MCP properties, it is impossible to say whether they would pay more or less if they switched to metered billing. Regardless, because MCP is not tied to water usage, there is no direct incentive to reduce water waste. Therefore, it could be that MCP either charges these properties more than they would otherwise pay under metered billing, fails to discourage water conservation, or both. On the other hand, some property owners may prefer rate certainty and are willing to potentially pay a premium to avoid unexpected bill shock. Thank you for the opportunity to testify, and we welcome any questions.
Well, I really thank IBO, for getting on the, anti-rental payment bandwagon. I've already flipped the Water Board into doing a resolution. I got my bill today is about like notification, but we got to get the state to sort of like cut this out altogether. Only they can do that. And what's not in your testimony is that, the maximum rental payment that the mayor can ask for is 15% of the annual debt service paid by the Water Finance Authority. And so early in the Bloomberg administration, because up until then, it was, the rental payment was equal to the debt service on the pre-1985 general obligation debt for DEP, that pile of debt, or 15% of the Water Finance Authority debt, whichever was higher. At a certain point, the 15%, as the pre-1985 debt got paid down, the debt service went down, and the 15% of the Water Finance Authority debt service went up. The lines crossed, and then the administration, once the debt was paid off, was flipped over to the 50% of the Water Finance Authority, and then they would get the rental payment, pay off the pre-1985 debt, and put the rest into the general fund. And now they're putting 100% of it into the general fund. And one thing I'm looking into now is that with the $440 million that the administration took in the form of a rental payment in this budget year, FY25 plus FY24, by your own, I think you indicated that, yeah, so rates went up 8.5%. The chart that DEP put out when they break down the charges means that they, for the rental payment in this fiscal year, I think it was 3.1 rate points that they put, but at about $40-odd million per rate point. That's only, that's only like 100, maybe 130 million or whatever. So the city has, so the administration has taken a $440 million rental payment, charge the ratepayers only 3.1%, but if you have like a pay-as-you-go system, that would have been 11 points on the rate right there just to pay the 440. So the question remains, and this is your homework assignment, because I can't get it, is to where does the, so they take 440, they charge the ratepayers, what did I say, 130? So that's like $310 million that the administration is going to spend this year of rental payment money that is not getting from the ratepayers. So where's it coming from? Is it in some reserve somewhere? Or are they just going to do this thing where, okay, we don't want to shock the heck out of people, so we're only going to do 3.1 points on the rate, but we're going to take the full 40 million and we're going to pay it off like over the next couple of years, which is not exactly a pay-as-you-go kind of budget system, which is what we're supposed to have. I used to work in OMB I was working in OMB back in 1985 in the Capital Division when they did this. And I was just a kid back then, but the joke was that we've got this mechanism because nobody wanted to touch the pre-1985 debt. And so the new Water Finance Authority is like, the Water Board is like, don't look at us, like, we're not going to pay that. And the city wanted to be, OMB just wanted the DEP capital budget just to be out of its hair, like for good. And so who was going to pay for this huge mountain of pre-1985 DEP GO debt? And that was going to be the rental payment. And so like the Trojan horse that they built in was that rather than coming to an agreement whereby once the pre-1995 debt is all paid off, the rental payment, which is brought into existence to pay that debt, gets paid down and goes away, that the rental payment goes away. They put a Trojan horse in, like whatever state legislature, like what the state legislature did this in consultation with OMB, who the heck knows? I was just like an entry-level person. It wasn't up to me. But there was a Trojan horse built in there that the mayor, whoever it is, you know, many years down the road, would have a cash machine in the form of a rental payment if, you know, she or he needed money to balance the budget. That is an outrage, and I'm glad you folks are on it. And because the Water Finance Authority is a state-created entity, they're not going to give me any information on it. So, but I'm working on this, and so, and it's good to see you, you know, in common cause with me on this really important issue and bringing daylight to this issue that nobody knows about. Nobody knows about this. And so, yeah, but that issue about where's the $330 million coming from for only, right? Isn't that what it is? 440 minus 130. And so you got $310 million. It's coming from someplace. It's not coming from the ratepayers. Either we're going to collect it from ratepayers going forward and add that into the future. I don't even know how it's going to work, but it just doesn't seem right to me. But the biggest thing that's not right is that we have the ability for the mayor to legally, 100% legally, fleece the ratepayers of New York City and impede with DEP's ability to appeal to the water board for higher rates for stuff that they really need to do that relates to DEP, like doing all this stuff relating to the FAD and, you know, building out the storm sewer system and everything we're doing, you know, to push back against, you know, this new era of flooding storms every 5 seconds. And I say that in a month where we haven't had any rain yet, and I don't even know what's today, 29th, 28th, 20-something? So it's been like 4 weeks without rain, so it's kind of an irony that I'm talking about, you know, super flooding storms like every month. We haven't had a drop of rain this whole month. But I thank the IBO for being here, because this is well written, you know, this is more concise than I could put it, and you lay down the history. And I look forward to working together with you guys on it. I would urge you to make sure you touch base with my legislative director, Josh Gachette, who's right there. He's going to raise his hand, and, you know, give him your contact information. And we appreciate, you know, the real value added that IBO has brought to this proceeding. With that, I'm kicking you out, okay? In a nice way, in a nice way.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for being here. I'm not really kicking you out, you know, I'm just saying, you know, it's not that way, you know, but thank you very much. Really appreciate your hard work on this. This is really good work, okay? So now I got to read the thing. This form is not my idea. They make me read it, okay? Public comment period. Section 1, at the beginning of the public comment period, start here. All right. I can't even do it right. I now open the hearing for public testimony. I remind members of the public that this is a formal government proceeding and that decorum shall be observed at all times. As such, members of the public shall remain silent at all times. The witness table is reserved for people who wish to testify. No video recording or photography is allowed from the witness table. Further, members of the public may not present audio or video recording as testimony, but may submit transcripts of such recordings to the Sergeant-at-Arms for inclusion in the hearing record. If you wish to speak at today's hearing, please fill out an appearance card with the Sergeant-at-Arms and wait to be recognized. When recognized, you will have 2 minutes to speak on today's hearing topic of the filtration avoidance determination and intros 33, 225, 816, and 900. And also propose intro 1067A and resolution 83. That means you can only talk about what we're talking about today and not what you feel like talking about. If you have a written statement or additional written testimony you wish to submit for the record, please provide a copy of that testimony to the Sergeant-at-Arms. You may also, is my mic ringing or something? Is it am I too close? You may also email written testimony to testimony@council.nyc.gov within 72 hours of this hearing. Audio and video recordings will not be accepted as testimony. So that's it for now. And what's this? Later, okay. All right. And so we have the first panel. And the first witness of the first panel, a longtime friend and colleague, Eric Goldstein of the Natural Resources Defense Council. I call him to the witness table. Victoria Lung, looks like. Leung, okay, from Riverkeeper. The Honorable William Scarborough. He's representing Southeast Queens Environmental Justice Coalition and Adsley Park Civic Organization. It's a real pleasure to have Bill with us. And to round out this first panel, we have Nikki Cross of the New York Lawyers for Public Interest. And, all right. Why don't we go from, everybody give, what am I doing? What's that? Okay, the sergeant informed me is that the, it is, yeah, I'm just saying, where is she? That Victoria's gonna go first because she has to leave. So I was gonna go this way, but we'll have Victoria first, then we'll have Bill, who's a real gentleman, a real ladies first kind of guy, and then we'll just go this way. And so, Victoria, please proceed with your good testimony. Do I have a copy of it? Or? Okay, all right, I'll just listen, yeah.
Hi, my name is Victoria Laring. I'm from Riverkeeper. Thank you so much, Chairperson Gennaro and the committee for your oversight of the New York City water supply. We really appreciate this opportunity to give testimony. Riverkeeper is an organization that's dedicated to protection of the Hudson River.
Yeah, speak really close to the mic.
Riverkeeper is an organization dedicated to protection of the Hudson River from source to sea and safeguarding drinking water. We are also a signatory of the 1997 New York City Watershed Memorandum Agreement. So I'll keep this brief. I'll start. We're in full support of Intro 816 and Resolution 83. Riverkeeper and also the Stormwater Infrastructure Matters Swim Coalition, we have been against the rental payment for a long time. We do not believe that it is necessary. Between fiscal years 2017 and 2023, the rental payment was waived for 5 of the 7 years, and there's a rate increase of 8.5% this year. So we're in full support of the notification, so the ratepayers know exactly where their money is going, and that perhaps public pressure can lead to change of the rental payment. In addition, as we heard earlier from DEP, there are a number of infrastructure projects that are needed to keep our water system in good shape. So it is critical that this money that is being collected is being used for water infrastructure purposes. For example, the current Delaware Aqueduct shutdown that is going on. However, we'll offer one comment on the proposed law. There could be some clarity on the language of the legislation regarding the city's request.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stop you there, and I'll come back to you on questions. Okay? So you can finish your thought when I come back to you on questions. All right?
Okay.
Because the panel's going to stay here until everybody's done. Bill, you're up. And again, I'm going to hold everyone to their 2 minutes pretty much. Then I'll come back with questions.
Thank you, Chairman Gennaro.
Oh, wait a minute. I was just reminded that you have to leave, and so so why don't you just finish your thought right now, and But I have to, being that, so I have to ask you, and so I have to ask you to, so my question is, it seems like you had a couple of more thoughts that you wanted to convey to the committee. I would ask you, my question is, I ask you to convey what you had left to say, as long as it's not too long.
Of course. Thank you, Chairman Gennaro. We are recommending clarity on what the city's request of the rental payment is. It appears that the rate increase is sometimes based on anticipated rental payments. So we would ask that the language be amended so notification is made upon either actual request of rental payments or anticipate request of rental payments. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. And please, if you could, please provide a written copy of your testimony to the council. I explained how to do that. You know how to do that. There's a link or whatever. My staff can provide that. The Honorable William Scarborough. It's so good to have you, Bill.
Thank you, Chairman Gennaro. Good afternoon, Chairman Gennaro, Councilmember Williams. My name is William Scarborough, and I'm the president of the Adderley Park Civic Organization in Jamaica, Queens.
Okay, Vicky, just waving goodbye. Is that okay.
And the president of the Southeast Queens Residents Environmental Justice Coalition, and a former state assembly member. It's good to see you again, Chairman.
Yep.
I'm here today in support of Intro 1067A, the legislation by Councilmember Williams to address flooding issues in Southeast Queens and the city of New York. Our area of Queens has suffered from groundwater flooding for over 30 years, and to a large degree, this has been a direct result of the actions of the New York City and the Department of Environmental Protection. When DEP purchased the former Jamaica Water Supply Company in the 1990s, the city stopped pumping groundwater from the 69 wells in Southeast Queens that removed 60 million gallons of water per day. Although this switch improved the quality of water received by our residents, it allowed the groundwater level to rise precipitously. DEP knew from the outset that this would happen, and documents at the time showed that DEP officials promised to take steps to mitigate the rising water level. The rising groundwater level, which has risen by 35 feet between 1996 and 2007 and is still rising, has created flooding conditions in our institutions such as York College and the Parsons Archer Subway, which must pump water daily, as well as our residents, some of whom run electric pipes 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In an effort at revisionist history, DEP is now telling our elected officials that groundwater flooding mitigation is not the city's responsibility, but the responsibility of homeowners. This is unacceptable, as groundwater flooding in Southeast Queens is a direct result of New York City actions and inactions. Intro 1067A addresses key components of the groundwater flooding problem. It would require that DEP annually report to the mayor and the council on its efforts to address groundwater flooding. The bill also creates a framework to identify property owners impacted by flooding on an ongoing basis and to connect those property owners with available federal, state, and city resources to protect their properties from flooding, such as retrofitting.
Yeah, you know what, Bill? I'm going to come back to you and ask you a question because
Okay.
I got a whole thing for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yes, everyone just stay there, and everyone's going to, this is a good panel. I'm not going to waste it. Everyone's going to, you're all going to be talked out by the time you leave the table there. My pal, Eric.
Good afternoon, Chairman Gennaro. Thank you. Eric Goldstein from the Natural Resources Defense Council, which, as you know, has worked intensively on watershed issues for 35 years. We appreciate your leadership over that period. We welcome the opportunity to testify today in support of Intro 816 and 900 and support at least the goals and objectives of Intro 1067. City's water supply is its single most important capital asset. Since the 1990s, the city has advanced an innovative program to protect this unfiltered water supply via a comprehensive watershed protection and pollution prevention program. Now, more than 30 years later, it's safe to conclude that this experiment has been a major success. But the job of safeguarding this unfiltered water supply is a continuing one, and the need for ongoing investments of resources and protective measures remains as urgent as ever. We detail some of these in our written statement, but I'll simply say that safeguarding this system is not only necessary from a public health perspective, but it's essential to protect New York City residents from an enormous boost in water rates. And you heard today the testimony from the commissioner as to what filtration could cost down the line. While filtration facilities may ultimately be needed at some future decade, investments made today in protecting the upstate water quality now will benefit this system for generations. And speaking of economics, if there's one thing the council can do in the coming year to protect the city water ratepayers, in addition to fully funding the capital program for the Department of Environmental Protection, it's to ensure that necessary funding is made available for these water and sewer infrastructure investments, and it would be to press the administration to change course and abandon its plans to charge the city for rental payments. This is an irrational, regressive, anachronistic loophole that allows the mayor to charge water ratepayers for non-water related city expenditures. I'd be happy to talk about this further, as well as the legislation on today's agenda down the line.
Great, Eric. I'm going to get back to you on that. And then I have to.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Then Nikki, right? Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Chair Gennaro. I'm a staff attorney with New York Lawyers for the Public Interests Environmental Justice Program, testifying in strong support of Intro 1067. This bill will provide necessary help for New Yorkers facing the increasing costs of flooding and sewage backups, and aid in protecting the safety, financial stability, and housing security of homeowners. The current options available for financial assistance are difficult to navigate for many at-risk New Yorkers, and this bill would help ensure that residents know the best options available to them and ease the burdens of applications. We represent clients in South Jamaica, a historically redlined area of Queens. There, a community of 20 homes is connected on a failing shared private sewer line, requiring frequent repair and maintenance, costing the community approximately $10,000 a year. DEP has pledged to build a public line for this area within 3 years, but at that point, each homeowner must make private lateral connections to the public line, which would cost $15,000 per household. This is a prohibitive cost for these homeowners. Without this infrastructure, they will continue to endure horrific sewage backups during rain events that have become increasingly extreme and frequent given climate change. Dealing with this persistent problem has been tearing the neighborhood apart and causing ongoing anxiety. Communities like this, in which the city has historically invested less money and resources, which tend to be Black, brown, and low-income communities, disproportionately bear the burdens of flooding and sewage backups. In Queens, the city's most racially diverse borough, residents made over 4,000 backup complaints involving private sewer systems in 2022 alone, nearly 6 times as many as Manhattan. And I'll end there, and you can come back.
Okay, now go to my questions. Yeah, so it looks like this is a good day for Intro 1067. And so, Bill, you're right in the middle of something that, so I would ask you to continue.
Yeah,
and give me your final thoughts, and then.
As I said, this will protect the
Now,
residents'
you know,
properties.
by the way, so you guys are all for 1067. You guys talk to each other?
Have worked together, yeah.
We've worked together in the past.
Okay,
yeah.
great.
Yeah. Besides protecting the homeowner's property through retrofitting of equal importance, those property owners will receive case management services to address issues such as the mental stress of dealing with flooding. And we have learned how stressful that is to people who've had flooding. The bill also creates a task force of relevant city agencies, officials, and community representatives to meet quarterly to address ongoing efforts to solve this problem. This legislation can be a critical driver in the effort to address groundwater flooding, and it deserves strong support. We urge the council to support it wholeheartedly. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill, if I may call you that, on the record. You've obviously had meetings with the administration, and what is that? What has that yielded?
Excuse me?
You've had. you've had meetings with the administration.
Yeah.
I'm sure the community has maybe held town halls or something, and the administration comes down and what have you,
Well,
you know,
a
what has that
couple of
resulted in?
things.
What has that
Over
resulted
the course of the years, you know, we've been dealing with this for quite some time. The city and the commissioner referred to it earlier, they have put a substantial amount of money into the flooding issue, but there are two issues relating to flooding in Southeast Queens. One is stormwater, which is what they have addressed with sewers and so on, but they have not addressed the issue of the groundwater flooding, which has to be pumped out of the ground. And because that's difficult, the commissioner or the department is now trying to put that back on homeowners, saying it's not the city's responsibility. That we find very frustrating because they have stated from the outset that they knew when they started to when they ceased pumping the water, that flooding would exist. You go back to July of 1987 at a hearing on eminent domain when they were about to acquire.
Right, yeah, because the city took over the Jamaica Water Service by condemnation.
Yeah,
And then they started systematically shutting down the wells because the water was of inferior
derived.
quality.
And
But they pump
accepted
it when they need to keep subway tunnels open and that kind of
Right.
thing.
The
So at the
issue-
time when it was, I think the water service in its heyday, the Jamaica Water Service, was pumping about 100 MGD, I think.
It was-
And so what is it, so, but it's pumping something to waste now, right, for subway tunnels. So do you know how much it was pumping and what it's pumping now?
You're talking about the city or?
No, I'm talking about the former Jamaica Water Service wells, because
they're not
the city
pumping
took them over by, condemnation.
domain, right.
Started to shut them down. But some wells, they had to pump to waste in order to keep subway tunnels from flooding. So I think there's still some pumping of the wells going on. That's my question.
We're waiting to hear from the USGS as to what exactly the status is. But the most recent information we had was that in 2022, there was some pumping. The DEP has not been communicating with us as community residents. They've been communicating with the elected officials, but they have not had any communication, so it's difficult to get information. But from other sources, we have learned that there were a few wells that are being pumped as of 2022. We're trying to get more
Right, and when they pump the well to send the water to, because they're not putting it in the distribution system, they're pumping it to waste. So is that going to a sewage treatment plant? Is it going to Jamaica Bay? Like, what are they doing with it?
Yeah, it has to go through the wastewater treatment plant and into Jamaica Bay.
Right. And, okay, so so I guess, so the question is, and this is like a USGS question, which is how much would you have to pump of the wells in order to regulate the water table so that people could live with it, and that amount of water, they'd have to pump it, which costs money, then they have to send it to the sewage treatment plant. Could the sewage treatment plant handle it? So we didn't even have all the parameters on that, so we need a study as to which presumably the bill calls for, right?
Yes.
Okay.
One of the thoughts.
Yeah, go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, one of the thoughts that had been put forward in one of the studies that was done, I believe it was Malcolm Perney, I'm not sure, but they indicated that the water that was being pumped by Jamaica Water Supply was at a different aquifer than Nassau. So the argument that pumping water from Queens would hurt Nassau was not accurate. And
no, that's bogus. Like you're talking to a geologist here.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah,
and there is a thought that water could, since Nassau does have an issue with their water supply, that
Nassau
maybe
has
that
a lot of
water
issues
from
with their
Queens
water
could
supply.
Be, given to Nassau, or some sort of arrangement to sell it, whereby they could reduce the water level in Queens and provide a resource to Nassau County.
Yeah, now we're getting really complicated, but certainly Nassau has, a lot of, so were this water, I mean, now, I used to do water stuff up at, DEC. Nassau has a lot of, has a big salt wedge coming in. They're getting like a lot of intrusion.
Right, saltwater
because
intrusion,
because
yeah.
the Magathie Aquifer, and I worked on a project where they did like a reclamation recharge thing. They tried to get that going because they're taking, like whatever Nassau uses. I don't know how many MGD they use, but the Magathie Aquifer in Nassau. You're getting drawdown from like the upper glacial aquifer at the South Shore and the North Shore. You're getting salt wedges in. I would take the Jamaica water if I were them and just pump it into the ground to maintain the hydraulic stability to kind of push against the salt wedge that's trying to come in. I'm not an engineer, but I know a little about hydrogeology. I don't know what's in the water. That's like another issue. But I certainly support all the all the brain waves that would need to. Because this is kind of everybody, because everybody's going to be, DEP is going to point to someone else, and someone's going to point to the state, and so it's just got, you got a lot of finger pointing here.
The beauty of this is that it takes steps. This legislation takes steps to help the homeowner who is suffering, and at the same time, it pushes.
Oh yeah, it has that too. But I'm just thinking from like a geologic point of view. That's where my mind kind of naturally goes.
And the legislation will push the relevant agencies to seek to resolve the problem. So we think it's very good legislation.
Well, I look forward to working with, and I guess you worked with Nan to get this going, right?
Yes. We work very closely with our council.
Yeah, and so I will talk to Nan, and if if you and Nan and like the coalition. And also, I'll talk to the leadership about the bill, as will Nan. It's her bill, but I'm the chairman. It's not like I have nothing to say. And so, I look forward to ongoing engagement on, it's 1067, right?
1067.
Yeah, I never get the numbers of the bills. I always, this is the Natasha bill. That's what I call it.
I know the feeling.
Yeah. So. But I could call it the Scarborough bill if you want, But
No.
Okay,
no.
so this will be in the Natasha bill.
Yes.
All right, and so, Bill, thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Give my best to Manny Coffin. How's he doing?
He's doing good. He wanted to be here today, but he had a VA hospital commitment, so he wasn't.
Well,
I'm sure
God bless him. He's been working in the vineyard a long time, too.
A long time.
Yeah, he's really, really a good guy. And so, thank you, Bill. It's a pleasure to see you. Okay. Eric, I think you had a few more thoughts you wanted to put on the record.
Yeah, thank you. Well, first,
So let me formally ask you to do that.
Just on this bill, again, one of the reasons, while there may be details to be worked out, there can be no question that this issue is one of importance. The city has responsibility for dealing with this groundwater problem in Southeast Queens. Since it was known at the time that the Jamaica water supply was acquired by the city and then ultimately shut down, that there would be a groundwater intrusion problem. This was known and discussed at hearings and in environmental reviews. So the city,
Wouldn't that make it a lawsuit? Wouldn't that make it a lawsuit at that point?
It certainly is something where lawyers would be well advised to take a look at this issue. I think that there may well be some basis for compensation in this instance. And again, my one point on this issue is this is not an unexpected problem. The city knew when it acquired the Jamaica water supply and started using the water for water supply purposes, then abandoned the water system because of quality concerns, that there would be a groundwater intrusion problem, and at least we believe they have a responsibility to help the residents in the community deal with it. I'd like to turn back for 1 second to the rental payment. because this is a really important issue if you care about avoiding regressive charges for city
Right.
water ratepayers. And I'll just say that Mayor Bloomberg, in his time, his administration recognized this as a problem. Mayor de Blasio moved away from this unwarranted charge, but Mayor Adams and his budget chieftains have restored the charge. They're planning to take, as you know, $1.4 billion from the water ratepayers over the next 4 years. Right. And the council can and must reduce, if not completely eliminate this as part of its budget negotiations in FY26. Now, of course, if we can get some state legislation, that would be enormously helpful too, but the council has a direct role in budget negotiations, which we hope will be advanced next year.
Let me just kind of speak to that for a second, just, because now we're just talking about the way things are. Once the mayor, I don't care who hears this, because it's true. Once the mayor, put in the budget that he's going to do, this year was $440 million worth of rental payments. The council has no ability, to get that number out of the budget. The only way this works is if the mayor cannot put the number in the budget in the first place. Because the mayor, so let's say nothing happens and we go to the, we start making next year's budget. And the mayor puts $300 and something million in the budget in terms of rental payment. Then the council takes it out. Then the council has to figure out what's going to get, what are the $300 million worth of cuts that are going to happen to offset the rental payment? And then all the stink is on us. And so speaking very practically, the council has almost, we're certainly players in the budget process, but this year, to move a $440 million number out of the budget, it's just not going to happen. Or even if we manage to say, okay, don't make it 440, make it 330, we'd have to find $110 million of cuts to make up, and then you still got $330 million sitting in there, and that's just somebody stabs you with a knife, and they put it in 4 inches, and you pull it out 1 inch, and it's just what do you do? So the only way the knife doesn't go in is if the mayor doesn't have the ability to do, the rental payment in the first place. I mean, from where I sit, as someone who wants to see the DEP be able to make the investments it needs to make for precisely doing what needs to be done under 1067, the rental payment is totally anathema. And it just gets in the way of what DEP has to do in this age of building, possibly building a filtration plant, making things right with the people of Southeast Queens. If we this year, we did a pay-as-you-go system, just the $440 million in rental payment would have been 11 points on the rate just for the rental payment. So this is going to, and so even though this is bad, next year it's going to be worse, because if the mayor does 300 and something million, divide 300 and something million by 40 million per rate point, and you got almost 10 points on the rate just to cover the rental payment. And so this is, and you're right. I mean, if I control the budget process in the council, I mean, I tried to make that case this budget year. The 440's got to go because it's stolen money. And then, everyone in the council just kind of looking at me you gotta be kidding me. This is a huge number. And the only way to really solve this, and there's a bill in the state assembly or state, in the state legislature is saying that the city council has to be partners with the mayor on figuring out how big the rental payment has to be or something, right? Isn't that bill? Yeah. I don't want the mayors to be. I don't want the council to be partnered with the mayor on the rental payment. I want the rental payment to go away. I don't want us to acquire rental payment power and work with him on it. It's got to go, every penny. And so, I'm going to be sort of doing what I can do You know, both from like the fiscal perspective of how this takes resources away from DEP, and also from the environmental justice perspective, because the reason why we can't get certain EJ stuff done is that DEP just doesn't have enough money. And there's only so high one can raise interest rates. So if we're starting out every budget year with a 10% water rate increase just to cover the rental payment, and then we got to do everything else on top of that to build out the storm system from the storm sewer system from 1.75 inches per capacity per hour to 2.1 or wherever they want to take it. That's like untold billions of dollars. So I appreciate your perspective, Eric, of having the council kind of flex its budget muscles. But I mean, I tried that this year, and my glasses are like, I have to get them fixed. They don't stay on. We have to get. I'm going to try to build a real coalition. This is where, and build those people in the state legislature. We're working with an entity right now that's trying to, get state legislature, to get state legislators to sign on to this and to create a bill that would just get rid of the rental payment once and for all. I just think that there'll be problems up and until we actually get that done. This was, so that's where things are at, and I'm happy to apply whatever pressure I can by myself or from good folks like yourself to impress upon to come to budget hearings when we're doing the budget and say that and all that. But I think if we're going to hit this thing sort of center mass, it would be a coalition of Southeast Queens people who are getting flooded, the people from the EJ community, everybody just coming down on the mayor saying don't you, notwithstanding the fact that you're legally able to do it, like don't dare go there. And I think that's a good way if that was organized in such a way that could to send the signal now to the mayor that notwithstanding, his ability to get future rental payments, he shouldn't do that. And I think if he he's going to hear from the council, but to the extent that he hears it from the people of Southeast Queens, that he hears it from the environmental community, that he hears it from the EJ community, and more, and this is. And we bring some daylight in on this issue and all the ramifications it's going to have, then it really looks like the mayor just has his hand in the cookie jar. Because up until now, he's been able to take it, like this year, was able to take the money in stealth. Right. No one thought he was going to do this. So by the time anyone knew anything, there was a $440 million of rental payment money in the budget, and that concrete solidifies very fast. That's just what happened. And so I think the clarion call has to go out now that if you're thinking of going there, and while you're at it, he took 440. The ratepayers are only paying between like 130-ish million, and so where's the other $310 million even coming from? Like, what is that? Like, where's it coming from? What is this, Albany, where we just do like? No offense, Bill. But Albany, where they just like sell the thruway to the Thruway Authority. The Thruway Authority issues bonds, buys the thruway, gives it to the governor to put into the budget and stuff like that. This is like Albany stuff. I don't even know where and not for nothing, like the Water Finance Authority is a state-created entity. If I tell them where's the $300 million, or what are they doing, they're going to tell me to go jump in the lake. And so that's just sort of like where we are. And so I think we have to. Is one of these things where, to kill a vampire, stake through the heart. That's the only way that I think that I'm for the other things. I'm for saying, you know, that this is an insult to the environmental justice movement in New York City. This is an insult to the people of Southeast Queens. This is an insult to like all the new needs that, you know, DEP is going to have. They need as much leeway as possible to be able to like raise water rates, to raise water and sewer rates for water and sewer. And to the extent that becomes a campaign where you have a lot of people in different constituencies all linking arms, you know, maybe, you know, and I'll talk about it from my end, but I think the pressure has to be big. It has to be different than this year when Jacques, the budget director, can just say, I got $440 million. I don't even think the mayor knew it went into the budget. I mean, I think Jacques just put it in because he knew he could do it. And so what? Oh, okay, all right.
Well,
note from council, yeah.
We think you're on exactly the right track on that. Part of the problem is the public has largely been unaware of the intricacies and of this lunacy. And all of us, including the council, need to do a better job of shedding light on the issue. So
we should get Jim Tripp back on this. What's he up to these days? He was the original water, he was the original rental payment water.
He stepped down from the Environmental Defense Fund, but there has been a significant muttering of talk among environmental groups, and I think that getting a coalition together with our environmental justice colleagues and all, we could put together quite an effort for the coming
so why don't
budget year.
Josh,
I mean, again,
you should talk to Eric after this, and let's. I mean, I have no problem meeting with, and again, like all the EJ groups get along, or like, you know, I don't care. I mean, I think we should all get together and figure out some sort of public I mean, I'll do what I can from this side of the table, but I'm also very comfortable with talking to environment, and then I can go to my colleagues and go to the speaker's office and just say, look, we've really got, like, this city's got a big, you know, rental payment problem, and I did everything I could last budget year. I mean, high-level meetings, budget director, chief of staff of the council, and all that. It's just, it's a very, very big lift once that number gets put in the budget.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's huge. It just is what it is. I wish.
Well, and DEP should be a natural ally of us on this issue.
Yes, they are, but they can't
because,
say,
again,
but DEP
30
works
billion
for the mayor. DEP works for the mayor. That, you know, if Rich said something that's his last day as commissioner, and so, you know, he has to stay out of it. And so, but I mean, of course DEP doesn't like this. They can't say anything. I run very candid hearings. I don't care who's listening. You know what I mean? What's that? Read what? Okay. Yeah, Eric, you were saying.
Great. I've just got one other point.
I wrapped up my own rhetoric, yeah.
No problem. So I think we're going to move forward with your suggestion, see if we can put together a really powerful coalition to make a push on this for the next budget. It's so important.
And please loop in my legislative director, Josh. Josh, you're on this now, okay? Yeah.
Josh is the man. We'll be in touch. Okay. Finally, another bill on the agenda was Intro 900. NRDC strongly supports this bill, which would require DEP and other city agencies to install 500 drinking water fountains in public locations around the city. This is legislation that would it's a double win. It would reduce the use of throwaway plastic water bottles, which are an enormous environmental problem, and at the same time provide high-quality drinking water at no cost to consumers. We heard the commissioner talk about the fact that perhaps it couldn't fit in their budget. We disagree with that conclusion. We also think that the Parks Department should be involved in this. Maybe the place to start is having these locations, these water fountains be replaced at entrances to the major parks around the city, because right now most of those water fountains are not operative or can't be used, or if you have a water bottle, you can't fill it up in those old cement water fountains that have been in the playgrounds since Robert Moses built them. But this is something that would advance water quality protection, would get New Yorkers drinking New York City water, would get rid of the millions and millions of plastic throwaway bottles. It's a good bill, and we hope that in one form or another you can help advance it.
Sure.
We thank
happy to do that.
Councilmember Powers for introducing it.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. And so, and you and I got to talk more, although I got to move it along about the whole FAD thing. I mean, this is, Josh, you should talk to Eric about that too, because we've got a whole, we got to put the band back together regarding the FAD, okay? And you're not getting out of it, okay?
Thanks for your leadership. It's great to have you.
Great. Yeah, and with regard to New York lawyers, I kind of know what you're going to say, but go ahead.
Just finally, I wanted to voice support for Councilmember Holden's Bill 0225. That's something that residents have directly called for, which is increasing transparency on things like catch basin and sewer maintenance, and providing all of that information to residents to keep them posted. Thank you very much for your support. Thanks to Councilmember Williams and to Andrea and Bill Scarborough for all your work on this.
Thank you, and Josh, I also want to meet with Eric separately about the FAD. We should just you and I should just compare notes on like where this is all going. This is. The FAD is too big to fail. Okay. Hey, how's this for a panel, folks? Are you kidding me? We put on quality panels here? Forget it. You guys can collect your citations right outside the door, okay?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. And before the next panel is impaneled, I have to wash my hands for a second. I'll be right back. And Josh, Just in case you're going downstairs for a glass of water, if you can get me one too, that'd be great. Okay. What's that? I like the other stuff. No, just give me a new one. Just give me a new one. Yeah. Okay, the next panel is, what is this? Jane Selden, representing 350 NYC or 350 NYC. Maite DeGuela, Waterfront Alliance. I don't know if I said that right. Jordan looks like, or something like that. Representing, I can't really make it out, but when you testify, you can clarify that. And Christopher Putson? Christopher Leon Johnson. Okay. What's that? Yeah, fine. Ooh, those are my reading glasses. Now I can. Glasses. What's that? Oh, yeah. Knock yourself out. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, Chair. Oh, ready?
Were you asking about the water or whether you could go first?
I'm gonna go first.
Oh, you're just declaring that you're going first?
Yeah, can I please go first, or is it?
Okay, I mean, I was gonna do the ladies first thing.
Yeah, ladies first.
Yeah, okay.
Ladies first. No, lady, you wanna? You sure? So I start. All right, cool.
I mean, well, yeah, it's just the way I wanted to do it.
All right, no
I'm
problem.
sorry.
Ladies
Yeah,
first, no
okay,
problem.
All right.
Sorry.
But I like the, yeah, I like how you just come forward,
All right, so.
But, yeah, but we're gonna go with the ladies first.
All right,
We're
no
gonna go with the
problem.
ladies first.
Perfect.
Yeah, and you have to speak right into the microphone, nice and loud.
Is that open? All right. Thank you for hosting this hearing. My name is Maite, the Climate Policy Fellow at Waterfront Alliance, an organization dedicated to advocate for climate resilience policy in the New York and New Jersey region. Waterfront Alliance is pleased to testify in support of 2 bills and 1 resolution brought to today's hearing, Intro 81-6, Resolution 83, and Intro 1067. First, like many others here have said, we also want to express that Waterfront Alliance does not support the city charging the water board for rental payment. We find this to be a regressive tax on ratepayers. While discussions around eliminating the water rental payment are ongoing, we would like to express our support for 81-6 and Resolution 83. We thank the Chair Gennaro for this leadership on this issue, and Waterfront Alliance strongly believes in transparency for residents and ratepayers on any water rate adjustments. We would also like to express strong support for 1067, and we thank Councilmember Williams for her leadership on this important issue. This would provide meaningful and necessary support to residents in Southeast Queens who are experiencing groundwater flooding. And Waterfront Alliance supports the Southeast Queens Residents Environmental Justice Coalition, who have been advocating for solutions like 1067. Given the overlap in groundwater and stormwater flood risk, not just in Southeast Queens, but across the entire city, we see an opportunity to potentially expand this bill to address inland flood risks more broadly. We are willing to work with the council to explore this option now or in the future, and thank you to the committee for this hearing.
Yeah, thank you. I got my first environmental award from the Waterfront Alliance like 30 pounds ago. I got like a life preserver that said "Hero of the Harbor," and so it was the first environmental award I ever got. So but I like the Waterfront Alliance because of the work you do, not because you gave me something. And so, thank you very much for your good and compelling testimony, sir. Whoops, you gotta put the thing on again.
Good afternoon,
Yeah, speak right
Chairperson
into it. Just
Gianamaro.
move it. Just move it where you need it to be. Just move the thing, yeah.
Yes, my name is George Jordan. I'm in support of Bill the 1067. I'm here to testify on the cost. My mother has 2 pumps that's running 24/7 that's pumping groundwater. Okay, initially when the pump system was put in, it was for the rainwater, and the pumps can last for many years. With the groundwater, we're pumping water 24/7. The pumps last maybe a year. The replacement cost is $675 a pump. For the last 20 years, she's spent over $15,000 replacing pumps, plus the initial $7,000 when she had the new pump system in. When her and my father bought the house in 1960, it was no rainwater issue. Now, our Con Edison light bill is through the roof, and every year we're spending like $500-600 on just replacing pumps. And it's just groundwater. We're just pumping groundwater 24/7, rain or shine, snow, or even if it's not raining. Like you stated, we haven't had 4 weeks of rain. Her pumps are still running.
Right.
So this is why I'm here to testify, just to give you an idea of how much the homeowner is paying replacing pumps. And the council, the DEP said it's up to the homeowners. That's totally false, because we're just paying money every year and we're just pumping groundwater.
And as we heard earlier, it was known that this was going to happen. And so yours is precisely the kind of witness that needs to be brought to this once we, under Nan's leadership, this is her thing, but notwithstanding the fact that she's, not a member of this committee, I mean, she's, we're neighbors, her district is right next to mine, and I've long, tried to champion like the cause of water equity in Southeast Queens, because when it comes to a lot of issues, Southeast Queens is not getting its due, and I'm sure Nan's going to try to pull the speaker in as well, and that's always a good thing. And so, great to have your views on the record. Anything else that you want to, get to the committee, you know how to do that. And my legislative director is sitting right in the back, so if you could form some linkage with him, because you're a Queens resident and you're a victim, and make sure Josh has your information, and then we'll work with Nan to try to move the bill forward. So thank you for your patience in staying for the whole hearing to bear witness to this terrible problem. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair Gennaro, for giving me the opportunity to speak today. My name is Jane Selden. I'm a retired CUNY lecturer and chair of 350 NYC's Waste Reduction Committee. As a climate activist group, we recognize that the world can't achieve its greenhouse gas emission reduction goals without seriously addressing the cradle-to-grave environmental impact of single-use plastic. If plastics were a country, it would be the 5th largest emitter.
Yeah, I mean, that's not the topic of today's hearing.
No, can you?
Can you tie it into today's hearing?
Absolutely.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. If plastics were a country, it would be the 5th largest emitter of greenhouse gases in the world. The key to reducing the production of single-use plastic is to reduce demand for it, which is why we fully support Intro 900.
There you did. Okay, you tied it. Good.
New Yorkers purchase and discard approximately 5 billion with a B, bottles of water a year. Only a fraction is recycled. Most end up exported to landfill and incinerators at great expense to the city, or as litter on our streets. More than just an eyesore, this litter clogs our drainage system, exacerbating the flooding on our streets and in our subways from torrential rainfalls, which will continue to increase in frequency because of climate change. In addition, nobody should be paying for water, especially in a city that enjoys some of the highest quality tap water in the world. On the other hand, bottled water contains significant levels of nano and microplastics, containing chemicals that threaten our health and contribute to the microplastics that have been found in our lungs, our hearts, our intestine, bloodstream, and in human placenta. This is a great bill, and we're fully behind it, but for the bill to be fully effective, we recommend that the city install freeze-proof water fountains. Can I just finish?
What was that? Yeah, just finish your thought, but also that last word.
Freeze-proof. It means the pipes won't freeze. Right now, the water
Oh,
fountains.
got it,
Yeah,
got
I'm
it.
sorry.
Okay, yeah.
So that their availability isn't limited to the warmer months. Year-round access to public water fountains with refill stations will motivate New Yorkers to break the bottled water habit by providing them with a convenient, healthier, eco-friendly alternative. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, sir. Now, what?
Yep. Hello, Chair Gennaro. My name is Christopher Leon Johnson, the record.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm here to show my support for Intro 225, introduced by Holden. This is really needed, but one thing I want to ask the the person introduced the bill, Bob Holden, what about the impoverished communities that don't have access to computers, don't have access to internet? Some people still use flip phones. How are they going to access this information at their convenience? That's the one thing I want to ask the Bob Holden, how will this affect the inner districts? We don't know the inner districts don't have that access to internet like that. We could say ACP and free Wi-Fi, but that's not enough. What about people that just flat out old school and that just rely on paperwork? And that's what I'm out trying to ask, like, Holden, I know you're the chair, you should ask Holden, like, what about the people who don't have access to the computers? I understand that everything's digital, but there's people that still do things online. And another bill I support is the Powers Bill, Key Powers Bill, to require that there be more water fountain stations, but we need to know where they at. That's the problem. We need to know where all these water fountains are at. And my suggestion, Chair Gennaro, is to take out that water fountain right outside in the hallway that enters the chambers and replace it with a new filter, like the new type filter you could put water bottles in, other than the old school, like you guys like do this and old school. You need to change that up.
You mean the one right here?
Yeah, right outside. Yeah, right outside in the hallway, right before we walk inside the chambers for stated meetings and council chambers.
I didn't realize there was one there. But now
I don't know. I think that's ran by DCAS, but DCAS. This is for the record. DCAS should update that water fountain and update all the water fountain city council chambers to make it for like the new versions, like water filters, and you put bottles and cups in like that instead of like use your mouth. So I support Powers Bill with that. It needs more.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And also, with regard to any concerns you might have regarding the Holden bill and its scope, I don't want to sort of speak for the author of the bill. I mean, those are really questions for the author of the bill, Bob Holden. He's a very accessible guy.
Yeah, I know he is.
Yeah, I mean, if you called his district office, he would definitely, call you back.
Yeah.
He's like, he's old school like me.
Yeah. I know you're old school. We should have access to the people. I mean, like, the people need to know old school things. Some people don't use computers. I don't know why to this day, but people just don't use computers. So,
I mean, certainly, this is, we have, we have staff to the committee that's taking notes on every, word of testimony that's coming out here. So, notwithstanding the fact that Bob is not here or Councilmember Holden is not hearing what you have to say at this moment, we have staff taking notes of your good suggestions.
Yeah.
And this will be, part of the record and part of the back and forth between the staff and Councilmember Holden as to where this bill goes.
And by the way, about the outside, about the filter request, we have to introduce a bill for that, or this is because under the city council chambers, this is ran by DCAS. Do you have to introduce a special bill to update all water fountain filters in the city council chambers? Like, basically, I know 250 Broadway.
Yeah, I mean, this building is run by DCAS, and but we can a note to the committee council that we should put a request into DCAS to upgrade our drinking water fountain, because not so much for the members, but we have a lot of people who come here.
Yeah.
Who want. I don't even know what the policy is regarding having water bottles in the chamber. I think it's allowed.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, or whatever. But I mean, I just think it sets a good tone when, you know, we want to get people into the rhythm of you know, refilling their bottles. And as I'm saying that, try not to look at the collection of plastic cups, which is, you know, which has accumulated like in front of me during this hearing.
Hey, kick the stuff. I mean, we
And
should
they're not
get rid
here.
of plastic.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know, these aren't the droids you're looking for, okay?
Mhm.
And so, Star Wars reference, I'm a geek, you know? And so, you know, thank you very much for your compelling testimony.
Yeah.
Do you have anything more to add, or?
no, I mean, this is about climate change. I mean, hey, we need to go we got the I don't know, the cardboard, but we need to get rid of the plastic cups going forward, Mr. General. I know you're wearing plastic cups right now. I mean, we should get rid of those. I mean, for climate change, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I just,
For climate change, we need no more plastic cups inside
Yeah.
the chambers. More
I
like
like the
more
big-
like these guys, like.
I like the big cups. I mean, I have my refillable one, but I you know, it's, didn't bring it with me today. I was coming, long story, but normally I have a big yellow one. It's made of, it's steel. And
Mhm.
so, and my
Yeah.
wife got it for me, so I got to
Mhm.
use it, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, well, I want to thank this panel very much for your very good and compelling testimony. Really appreciate your patience, and, you know, for staying so long to give us the benefit of your good views. And anything additional that you want to submit to the council, that can be done online, or whatever you want to tell my legislative director. He's right there in captivity. And if people want to take his information so you can be in touch with him, he's a great resource in my office. My legislative director, I couldn't do him, you know, he's really good at what he does. So I thank this panel very much for its excellent testimony. Appreciate you being
Thank you.
here today.
Thank you.
You bet. You bet. Do you have anybody else? Okay, I have to read the following statement for for people who will be testifying on Zoom. We will now turn to remote testimony. Once your name is called, a member of our staff will unmute you. Don't speak until you get unmuted. And the Sergeant-at-Arms will give you the go-ahead to begin. Please wait for the sergeant to announce that you may begin before delivering your testimony. And this is later, right? Okay, great. Okay, and so we have witnesses? Why don't you just call the witnesses? Okay, the first remote witness is Aliyah Sumro of NYC LCV, League Conservation Voters. Aliyah, I hope I'm saying that correctly.
Yes, good evening. My name is Aliyah Sumro, and I'm the Deputy Director for New York City Policy at the New York League of Conservation Voters. Thank you, Chair Gennaro and members of the Committee on Environmental Protection for the opportunity to comment. I've submitted longer written comments. NYLCV was deeply disappointed to see that the DEP water rental payment was included in the adopted FY25 budget, despite major concerns from advocates and elected officials. The city plans to charge its own water board more than $1.4 billion in rent over the next 4 years to lease its water and sewer systems from the city. This mechanism dates back decades ago when the city had mountains of water and sewer-related debt backed by the city's general fund. However, these rental payments are unnecessary today since nearly all of the pre-1985 general obligation debt is retired. However, DEP's water payment revenue will be handed over to the city general fund for non-water purposes instead of staying with DEP, where the agency could direct it towards water-related capital infrastructure projects. NYLCV believes that reinstating the water rental payment is a poor policy decision, one that negatively impacts water ratepayers and tenants alike, since charging rent to the city's water board causes increased costs to be passed down to ratepayers. Moreover, the New York City water payments have been shown to be regressive since it is assessed on homeowners regardless of income, and tenants see payments passed down to them in the form of rent hikes. Given the urgency of the climate crisis, it is essential that DEP keeps this revenue to make essential water infrastructure upgrades. Eliminating the water rental payment will also help New York City better leverage its fair share of the New York State Environmental Bond Act funding. We cannot successfully advocate for more state funding while our city continues to give away $1.4 billion in rental payments over the next 4 years for non-water purposes. And I'll just wrap up. We urge OMB and the administration to eliminate the water rental payment, and we are aligned with the council member in working with the state and other advocates to eliminate future water rental payments. We support the bill Intro 816, Reso 83, and Intro 900. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you. I want to thank LCV for joining the Anti-Rental Payment Coalition. I've been fighting this for the last 20 years. It was 20 years ago that the line, well, a little less than 20 years ago, that the lines crossed and the rental payment went from being the payment for the 1985 debt service to 15% of the Water Finance Authority's annual debt service. Mayor Bloomberg did that, and I blew my stack back then. It was only a couple of $1 million, but I knew what was going to happen. We'd get to a time when we'll be talking about hundreds of millions of dollars per year in rental payment. And so we have strategy. This has to come from the state. The only way to make it happen on the city level not to happen is for the mayor not to put the number in the budget in the first place. And I'm sure that, LCV will try to do everything it can to prevail upon the mayor not to do this. As I've said before, if you've been listening for the whole testimony, to the whole hearing, once that number goes in the budget, it is very difficult for the council to get that out and do all the other budget things it needs to do. It's just a $440 million budget hole for the council to fill on. It just doesn't work. The mayor has to not ask for the money. And LCV has a lot of clout with the state, we know, and so once I get further down the road of trying to get sponsors in the state legislature who will take this rental payment power away from the mayor, we count on LCV support for that bill in the state legislature. So that's where we can partner on this. And it's really, I couldn't be more pleased that LCV is so totally on board with this issue. Good for you. Thank you very much. I appreciate your testimony here today. And the next witness, we have Matt, either Gove or Gove, I don't know, from the Surfrider Foundation.
Hello. Thanks for having us give some testimony. My name is Matt Gove. I'm with the Surfrider Foundation, representing the New York City chapter of Surfrider. We do a lot of different things, but one of our main things we do is a lot of beach cleanups, and we find a lot of plastic bottles and bottle caps. And so we're here to support INT 900. Seems like a pretty straightforward and smart bill to get New York's delicious and fantastic water out to all New Yorkers, make it easily accessible. The summers are only getting hotter. It saves New Yorkers money. Bottled water is like 100 to 1,000 times more expensive than tap water. Also, we found over and over again that there's tons of microplastics in plastic bottled water, so it's not really that great for you. It also would reduce litter. Like I said, we find these bottles and bottle caps all over the place. So it's a real win-win. Obviously, it's going to cost some money, but it seems like a worthwhile thing to do to get our great tap water out to all New Yorkers. And Surfrider supports INT 900. And thank you, Councilmember Powers and Chairman Gennaro.
Thank you very much for your compelling testimony, and thank you for the work that you and the Surfrider Foundation do in keeping our beaches clean. And I think the greatest city in the world can find it within its means to put 500 more water fountains out there so people can enjoy our good water, and we say goodbye to plastic bottles. I really appreciate your presence here today and your patience in waiting so long to give us your good testimony. Thank you. And we have Rakhana Shah from Beyond Plastics Queens. Hope I pronounced your name correctly.
Hello. It was close. It was Rachna Shah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. So yes, my name's Rachna Shah. I'm the co-president of Beyond Plastics Queens chapter, a chapter of the larger national Beyond Plastics organization. We strongly support INT number 900, and we consider installing public drinking fountains essential to public health. Before I go on, I just want to explain my background. I'm here canvassing in Lehigh County in Pennsylvania, trying for the election, and I'm saying that because as a zero waste consultant by profession, I've studied behavior change around pro-environmental behaviors since 2009, and I've learned one of the biggest barriers to adopt reuse systems is access. There's less incentive to bring a clunky water bottle like this if there is a large barrier to refill it. The current options are you can go into a bar or a restaurant and ask them to do it, which they have no obligation to do, or to go and find a public water fountain in a public place, which is not really easy. So it's imperative, we believe, that New York City makes water, which is a human right, available to all New Yorkers. A related consequence of a warming planet is hotter summers that will require easy access to water to prevent thirst and death. And I think it would be a sign, we think it would be a sign of great foresight for New York City legislators to implement this plan with an eye to rapidly expand it in the near future, making our city ahead of the curve on future disasters that threaten human health. It would also show foresight to make systemic and infrastructural changes that allow us to rapidly reduce the amount of single-use plastics we dispose of in New York. I mean, the fact that part of this bill is referring to flooding in Southeast Queens, it just proves that not addressing climate issues results in more time and money having to be spent to analyze the damage. And that costs New Yorkers a lot of time and energy. So creating solutions that allow us to rapidly decline the use of single-use plastics has major climate mitigation impacts. And I guess I'll end there. Thanks.
Thank you very much for your work with Beyond Plastics. I would imagine that you work with Judith Inc. Okay, so yeah, you know Judith. I know Judith a real long time. I support your efforts on behalf of eliminating plastics, and I really appreciate your support of Councilmember Powers' bill Intro 900. Good luck to you, and look forward to you joining one of our future hearings. We appreciate the contribution that you made today. And safe travels. Thank you. Okay. If we inadvertently missed anyone who registered to testify today and has yet to be called, please use the Zoom raise hand function if you are testifying remotely, and you will be called in the order that your hand has been raised. If you're a testifying person, please come to the dais. Seeing none, I will now close the hearing. Thank you to the members of the administration, members of the public who have joined us today. This hearing is adjourned.